scene is set, my friend, from Miami, Florida, for the National League playoff action with the Miami Dolphins undefeated 14 straight victories on the year against the Cleveland football team led by Nick Scorch. And during his tenure at Cleveland, he has won 19, losing 9. A Brown football team that was second, the wild card choice in the Central Division of the American Football Conference.
This is Rick Weaver with Lou Crickmore and Henry Barrow back at the Orange Bowl. In case you missed earlier scores, the Washington Redskins are in. Will host the Dallas Cowboys at 3 o'clock next Sunday in the NFC Championship game, and that should be a dandy. Redskins beat Green Bay earlier today, 16-3. And the Dolphins or the Browns, the winner of this ball game, will play at noon. Kickoff time from Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh next Sunday. We'll have it for you fans here in Miami on WIOD beginning at 11:50 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who got in on one of the weirdest plays I or anybody else has ever seen yesterday. But that does not detract from the fact that they have one heck of a football team. Mercury Morris and Charlie Lee are the deep men. Here is Cockcroft forward, gets the toe into it. He gets it high, and it's deep back in the end zone. Is Morris. He will not run it back. He will down it. And so the Dolphins will start moving from our right to our left toward the left end zone from the 20-yard line following the opening kickoff, which was down by Mercury Morris in the end zone. The Dolphins will have Jim Kick and Larry Zonka as the running backs. Earl Morrill, the quarterback. Paul Warfield and Howard Twilley, the wide receivers. Marv Fleming, the tight end. Wayne Moore, Norm Evans, the tackles. Bob Kuchenberg and Larry Little at the guards, and Jim Langer, the center. The Dolphins break out of the huddle. They set tight in a wing formation with Twilley the wingman, and now Kick moves out as a double wingman to the near side. Zonka in behind Morrill. First down for the Dolphins from our 20-yard line. On the snap, here's the pitch to Zonk. Sweep to the left side. He gets the corner just barely turned and is knocked down on the near side at the 22-yard line, a gain of 2 by the middle linebacker, Dale Lindsay. For the Browns, Nick Roman, Walter Johnson, Jerry Shirk, and Bob Briggs, the front four. The linebackers are Charlie Hall, Dale Lindsay, and Billy Andrews. The quarterbacks, Clarence Scott and Ben Davis, and the safeties are Tom Darden and Walt Sumner. A second down and 8, Dolphins from the 22-yard line.
Rick, I look for Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid to really have busy days. I think Earl is really going to run them back there today.
All right, ready to go. Warfield splits near side, Twilley out to the far side. On the handoff, Crap over the right side. Kick bounces, tried to get over the right guard, and he gets no place. He had a hole to his left that he cut in following his blocking and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Walter Johnson, the left side defensive tackle, and Charlie Hall, the linebacker, make the stop. So Fleming comes out, and into the ball game goes Otto Stowe as an additional wide receiver. Mercury Morris also comes in. It'll be a third down and 8 for the Dolphins from their 22-yard line. We have just started this football game. And the Dolphins break out of the huddle. They split Stowe off to the far side, send Twilley and Warfield to the near side. The backs are split in behind Morrill. Third down and 8 from the 22. Morrill drops back to throw, sets up. He is going to have to scramble now as nobody's open. He gets to the 20-yard line, and that's all. A loss of 2 on the play. Right tackle Jerry Shirk, number 72, a 3-year veteran from Oklahoma State, made the initial contact. And so the Dolphins show very little on their first offensive sequence, and Larry Seipel's punting unit comes on.
Great coverage by that secondary of Cleveland's, Rick. Scott, Davis, Darden, and Sumner were all over our receivers.
Darden, number 27, and Leroy Kelly, the veteran, number 44, are back to field a punt. The line of scrimmage, the Dolphins 20. Seipel, with a 40-yard punting average, stands back at the 5-yard line. Here is the snap. No rush. He booms it out of there. Low trajectory spiral. It bounces at the Browns 42. Rolls inside the 35. Good roll inside the 30. Down inside the 25. And is going to be blown down at about the 24-yard line. Tremendous punt. Down there covering on the play was Charlie Babb. 57-yard punt as they mark it at the Browns 23. So let's set the Browns offensively for you. The quarterback is Mike Phipps, Leroy Kelly, and Bo Scott, the running back. The wide receivers, Frank Pitts and Fair Hooker. The tight end, Milt Moran. The tackles are Doug Deacon and Bob McKay. The guards, Gene Hickerson and John Demery. And the center is Bob DeMarco. We'll set the Dolphins' defense for you in just a moment. Pitts put to the near side. Here is Phipps rolling to his right, fires a pass. It is almost intercepted. It is by the Dolphins, Doug Swift. At the 38-yard line, he caught it on a deflection. Doug Swift came out of the air with the football. It was intended for Milt Moran, the tight end. The ball was knocked away, deflected in the air, and Swift caught it on the ground, and the Dolphins take over at the Browns' 40-yard line.
Rick, if that's any indication, I think you can really say that Miami's ready. They aren't relaxing a minute. Any other ball game, Swift might not be alert and follow that ball, but he stayed right with it and came up with an interception.
All right, ready to go. Dolphins first down at the Browns' 40. Twilley and Warfield put to the far side. Morrow sets the ball club, waiting for the snap from center. Here it is. The handoff, the kick, sweep to the left side. He gets about a yard down to the 39. Henry, were you flipping your switch?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to tell you that this unemotional ball club was jumping up and down, screaming and hollering, including its head coach on that interception.
All right, Jerry Shirk and Bob Briggs got the tackle on the play. That for the Dolphins was their 27th pass interception of the year, and for Swift, his 4th. And he got it on a deflection. A second down and 9. His kick picks up only a yard. The ball at the Browns' 39-yard line. We have 11 minutes, 49 seconds to go in the first quarter. There is no score. Kick and Zonka, the split backs. Twilley splits off to the far side. Second down and 9 from the Browns' 39-yard line. The Browns spun around on that front line defense. Morrow, play fake, drops back to throw. He sets up, pumps once, fires. The pass is incomplete. Warfield was out there, but a little mixed up in the signals, and he had stopped on a hook pattern at about the 35-yard line. Morrow pumped once, looking for somebody open, and he might have been trying to go deep. Kick was deep, but he was covered. And the ball fell harmlessly to the ground, so it'll bring up a third down and 9, as the Dolphins haven't shown too much on offense thus far.
Rick, I was watching the pits on that shot, and I'll tell you, Larry Little and Walt Johnson are really having a good battle down there, really going at it.
All right, 11 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Swift just intercepted a Mike Phipps pass. The Dolphins started from the Browns' 40, have gained only a yard. It's third down and 9. Here is Morrow dropping back to throw. He sets up, he fires. It is overthrown, intended for Warfield at the 21-yard line. And again, the pass was way off mark, and Garrow's field goal unit comes in. We might add here that in pregame warm-up, kicking to this end of the field, Garrow was kicking him successfully from 56 yards. Now this will be about a 46-yard attempt. Yepremian on the season, 24 out of 37, 115 points. Morrow will hold. Yepremian with a 46-yard field goal attempt. The deep man back is Tom Darden, waiting for the snap. Here it is, set down. The kick is up. He has the distance. It is no good. Off to the kicker's right. Off to the kicker's right, and it appeared that he hooked the ball. So the Browns will take over from their 20-yard line as Yepremian misses the first scoring opportunity of the afternoon, a 46-yard field goal attempt. And the Browns will begin operations from their 20. The lineup remains the same defensively for the Dolphins. Denherter, Fernandez, Hines, and Stanfield, the front four. The linebackers are Swift, Monicani, and Colin. Foley and Johnson, the cornerbacks. Scott and Anderson, the safeties. Leroy Kelly and Bo Scott will be the running backs.
Rick Earl overthrowing those receivers on those last couple of plays just shows that adrenaline is really coursing through your veins. You've got to really calm yourself down and start getting that ball in there. That's the one reason probably why he overthrew those people.
Fair Hooker, number 43, and Frank Pitts, number 25, will be the wide receivers. Milt Moran, number 89, the tight end. Leroy Kelly, 44, and Bo Scott, 35, the running backs. Mike Phipps, 15, the quarterback. Doug Deacon, 73. Bob McKay, 78 of the tackles. Gene Hickerson, 66. John Demery, 65 of the guards. And Bob DeMarco, the former Dolphin center, number 61, is snapping the football. We have 11 minutes and 16 seconds left to play in the first quarter. There is no score. In case you just joined us, Doug Swift on a deflection pass intended for Milt Moran on the Browns' first offensive sequence, intercepted. The Dolphins could not move the football, and Yepremian missed the 46-yard field goal attempt. They are ready to go to work. Phipps from the Browns' 20-yard line has Hooker split to the far side, pitch to the near side. Here is the handoff to Kelly over the right side, and gets the yard. Leroy Kelly picks up a yard out to the 21. Strong side linebacker Doug Swift, Denherter, and Nick Bonaconti in on the tackle for the Dolphins' no-name defense. A gain of a yard, second down and 9. Except for the Dallas-San Francisco game yesterday, all of the playoff contests have been titanic defensive struggles thus far, and this one is starting out that way. Leroy Kelly, the 9-year veteran, all-time on the rushing list behind only Jim Brown, Joe Perry, and Jim Taylor, number 4. The all-time rushing list, number 44, along with Bo Scott in the Cleveland backfield. Second down and 9, Browns from their 21-yard line. Here is Phipps. Play fake. Pumps right. Throws a screen out. It is caught by Scott at the 15 to the 20. Starts outside. Gets across the 25 to the 26. They pick up 5 yards. Bo Scott, as Phipps was pumping to the near side, dumped the screen off. And Bo Scott was the receiver. The tackle by Bonacani and Doug Swift. And now the Browns will get a look at the Dolphins' 53 defense as Bob Matheson comes in and Bob Hines comes out. The ball at the Browns' 26-yard line. It'll be a third down. And about 4 yards to go for a Cleveland first down. Fan-following defense. No name, no name. All right, out of the huddle they come. Hooker splits to the far side. Pitts to the near side. Ken Brown is now in the offensive backfield, number 30 for Cleveland, replacing Scott. Here is Phipps dropping back to throw. Has time. He fires. It is knocked down. Incomplete at the 38-yard line. Intended for Leroy Kelly. And over covering on the play was Tim Foley. So the Browns will have to punt.
Nick Bonacani dropped back from the middle linebacker spot there, Rick, and he's right there in front of Kelly. He's really the man that caused that pattern messed up.
That's right. It was Bonacani and not Tim Foley. So Cockroft comes in to punt, and on the season, he's one of the better ones with a 43.2 average. Jake Scott is the deep man back. Scott has an 8-yard punt return average. The line of scrimmage, 26 in Cleveland territory. Cockroft standing back at the 11-yard line. Waiting for the snap from center. Here it is. He gets a good rush. Blocked! Down at the 10, rolling loose. It is recovered by the Dolphins at the 5, picked up and run in for a touchdown.
Charlie Babb, Rick.
Run in by Charlie Babb.
Charlie blocked that ball and ran it in.
Rookie defensive back, Charlie Babb, number 49 from Memphis State. The biggest thrill of his career, blocked the punt. They put on a tremendous rush. The ball was rolling loose. Babb picked it up, fell down at the 5. He was not tackled and just ran it into the end zone for a touchdown. Waiting for the snap on the try for point. It is up, and it is good. With 9:32 left to go in the first quarter, Dolphin football action continues from the Orange Bowl with a score. The Dolphins 7 and the Browns nothing. Rick Weaver, Lou Creekper, and Henry Barrow back at the Orange Bowl. What a thrill for young Charlie Babb, the youngster who has been an outstanding specialty teams performer for the Dolphins this year, to block the punt and pick it up and carry it into the end zone for the first touchdown. All right, Billy LaFleur, number 19, Ken Brown, number 30, are back to receive your premium kickoff. It's a sliver. Rolls through the man, LaFleur, into the end zone, and he's going to have to down it. He had touched the ball at about the 5 or 6 yard line, and that sliver got away from him and rolled into the end zone. He hurriedly got back and downed it for the touchback, and so the Browns will start from their 20-yard line. The Dolphins' no-name defense rising to the occasion to put the first points on the board. Charlie Babb, by the way, has won our Dolphins Specialty Team Award once this year. The Browns will start from their 20-yard line again with Kelly and Scott, the running back. Phipps is the quarterback. Fair Hooker, number 43. Frank Pitts, number 25, are the wide receivers, and Milt Moore on 89, the tight end. Hooker splits to the far side, and Pitts to the near side. The backs are split in behind Phipps. First down, Browns from their 20-yard line. Phipps waiting for the snap from center. Hands off. Scott hits across the left side, booms his way out to the 25. Bo Scott, who played 4 years in Canada before he joined the Browns, a tackle by Dick Anderson at the Browns 25. It'll be a second down at 5. Scott is a 4-year man from Ohio State in the NFL. 9 minutes and 5 seconds left to play in this first quarter. Charlie Babb from the Dolphins specialty team blocking a Don Cockroft punt, rolling loose on the ground. He picked it up and ran it into the end zone for about 5 yards. And the Dolphins are on the board 7-0. Second and 5, Browns from their 25-yard line. Mike Phipps, the youngster from Purdue, who succeeded Bob Greasy as the Boilermakers collegiate quarterback. On the call, here's the pitch out to Kelly. Sweep to the near side. He gets cut back to his left across the line of scrimmage, and he's knocked down at the 27. A gain of just a couple on the play. Dick Anderson from the strong safety spot again is the man who made the initial contact. They're going to mark it at the 28, so give him a gain of 3.
Rick, Nick Bonacani is just playing an exceptional game at that middle linebacker. Nick Bonacani is the one that turned all the interference into the inside and made the people available so Anderson could tackle him. Boy, just a beautiful game.
Fair Hooker goes out. They put in the second tight end. Chip Glass, the big 4-year man from Florida State, on the short yardage situation with a 3rd down and 2. Browns ball from their 28-yard line. 8:04 left to go in the first quarter. Dolphins lead 7-0. Kelly and Scott, the split backs, in behind Phipps. 3rd down and 2 for the Browns from their 28-yard line. On the snap, here's the handoff to Scott. Tries to get outside. Is caught and dropped. No gain on the play. Great defensive play by weak side linebacker Mike Poland, the 3rd-year veteran from Auburn. Scott was trying to get outside, running to the far side to his left, and Poland tripped him up, and he never did get the corner turned. They put the ball down at the 28, so it'll bring up a punting situation, and Mr. Cockroft will try it again. Jake Scott is back as the deep man. Cockroft the last time had one blocked and run in on him by Charlie Bass. Line of scrimmage, the Browns 28, Cockroft standing at the Browns 13. Waiting for the snap from center. Here it is. They put on another good rush. He gets it out of there. Almost blocked again. He booms a nice high punt. Scott way back and makes a fair catch for the Dolphins at the Miami 15-yard line. Lloyd Mumford really put a rush on that time and almost blocked it again. They mark it at the 16-yard line, so that's where the Dolphins will start from. From their 16, and Cockroft gets off a punt of some 54 yards. There's a timeout on the field. Dolphin football action continues from the Orange Bowl with a score: the Dolphins 7 and the Browns 0. Rick Weaver back at the Orange Bowl. The Dolphins ready to begin operations from the Dolphins 16-yard line. Here is the handoff. Zonka, a quick hitter in the middle, and gets out to about the 20. Let's pause here for station identification on the Miami Dolphins Football Network. WIOD Miami. Gain of 4 on that last carry by Zonka, and Jerry Shirk made the tackle. Mercury Morris has come into the offensive backfield now, replacing Jim Kick. 2nd down and 6. Dolphins football from our 20. Twilley splits far side. Here's the reverse. Warfield, right side, cuts back to his left, 25, 30, 35, up to the 40, across the 40 to the 42. Charlie Hall makes the tackle on the play. That was the flanker around on the inside reverse with Warfield carrying. On the season, he ran that play 4 times for a total gain of 23 yards. But he made a great cut, had a good hole over the right side, and gets out to the 41-yard line is where they're going to mark it. 21-yard pickup, 1st down for the Dolphins. Let's go down to Henry Barrow.
Defensive end Bernd Inherter has an ice pack on his knee. He suffered a bruised knee.
All right, 1st down, Miami from the Dolphins' 41-yard line. Jim Kick, Larry Zonka are the I-backs. Here's the handoff. Kick through a hole in the middle, bouncing off tacklers, gets out to about the 44-yard line before the hole closes in a hurry. Tom Darden, the rookie safety man from Michigan, makes the tackle on the play, along with Walt Sumner, also the other safety. Ball is just across the Miami 44. It'll be gain, we'll call it 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the first period. Miami out in front 7-0 on a blocked punt by Charlie Babb. He blocked it, he picked it up, ran it in for a touchdown. Howard Twilley splits to the far side, Warfield to the near side. Kick and Zonka, the split backs behind Morrill. Morrill drops the throw, quick in. Twilley's got it, and he holds on to it. He has really cracked inside the Browns 45 and knocked off his feet at the 44-yard line. Another Miami 1st down. Clarence Scott, the left quarterback, makes the tackle on the play, but not before the Dolphins pick up a 1st down on a 12-yard pass completion, just a slant over the middle to wide receiver Howard Twilley. So Morrill completes his first pass. 1st down at the Browns 44.
Scott had Twilley covered completely on that, Rick, but I'll tell you, when Twilley decides he's going to catch that ball, no defensive back's going to stop him.
They're giving Warfield single coverage. They split he and Twilley to the near side. Here's the handoff to Zonka, and he is wrapped for a loss, trying to come over the left side. And Shirk, who has been outstanding on defense thus far, along with Bob Briggs, the big right end, make the tackle at the Browns 45. A loss of a yard on the play. Morris comes in, kick is out. The Dolphins' offensive backfield. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 11. The Browns, as we said on the season, were number 11 in the AFC in rushing defense, but they are playing a fired-up ball game this afternoon. Twilley splits far side. Warfield to the near side. Zonka and Morris, the I-backs, in behind Morrill. On 2nd down 11 from the Browns' 45-yard line. Here's the pitch to Mercury. Sweep to the near side. Turns the corner. 45, 40, and run out of bounds at the 37-yard line. A good block by Larry Zonka. Tom Darden is the fellow who ran him out. He gets 7 of the 11 yards needed. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. And let's see, we're going to mark the football. 3rd down and about 4. as they put it down at the 38-yard line. Jim Mandich comes in, and Fleming comes out for the Dolphins at the tight end spot. Mandich, number 88, three-year man from Michigan. Check it. Fleming stays in, and Twilley comes out now. The ball at the Browns' 38-yard line. A third down, and we'll call it 4. They set in the power blocking alignment. Here's the handoff going to Zonka. Big hole left side. He may have the first down inside the 35 to inside the 34, and it's going to be very close. And the officials will call a timeout for a measurement. Jerry Shirk, Charlie Hall, along with Ben Davis, making the tackle on the play. Here come the chains in from the near side. Dolphins trying to get this running game cranked up. First down, Miami, at the Browns' 34-yard line. 3 minutes, 49 seconds left to play in the first quarter. We are not sure because the game times have not been scheduled. If the Dolphins win today, we will have the broadcast in the Miami area of next week's AFC Championship game as the Dolphins put their title on the line against the ferocious Pittsburgh Steelers from Three River Stadium at Pittsburgh. But the time is yet to be set. We'll have that before we leave the air this afternoon. Twilley splits right, Warfield to the near side. Morris and Zonka, the split backs, in behind Morrow. Here's a play fake. Morrow dropping back to throw. He sets up. He is hit just as he fires the ball. It is knocked down at the goal line. It was intended for Warfield, and they put on a good rush that time. Jerry Shirk, Briggs, Johnson from the front defensive four all got through on Morrow, and he was hit just as he got the ball away and was thrown high in the air, and it was knocked down at the goal line by Tom Darden, intended for Warfield.
Earl was really lucky to get that ball off, Rick, and I'm sure after he got it off, he wishes that he hadn't, because that's the kind of ball to just throw up there, and it's really an opportune time for somebody to intercept it.
Second down and 10 from the Browns' 34. Mandich has come in. Fleming is out at tight end. Howard Twilley splits to the far side. Warfield to the near side. Morris and Zonka, the split backs, and behind Earl Morrow. Second and 10 from the Browns' 34-yard line. Here's a handoff counter with Zonka banging across the left side, and he gets about 2. If he got that far. The first man to hit him was Dale Lindsay, the middle linebacker, and then Bob Briggs, the defensive right end. They mark it at the 33, so he gets only a yard. And Stowe and Kick come into the Dolphins' defensive alignment. Otto Stowe and Jim Kick, as Zonka and Jim Mandich come out. A third down and 9 situation. The Dolphins thus far having a rough time trying to run on this Cleveland team that gave up 2,333 yards on the ground. Twilley splits to the far side. To the near side is Warfield, or check it, Stowe to the near side, and Warfield sets as the slot man right. On third down and 9, the Browns 33. Morrow drops back to throw. He has time. He fires to the far sideline. It is incomplete. Intended out there for Jim Kick on a slant out at the 22, and Kick had a turnaround, and the pass dropped to the ground, incomplete. So that brings up another field goal situation. Garrow missed one from 46 yards earlier. And this will be a 40-yard attempt with Morrow to hold. 2 minutes and 36 seconds show on the clock left to play in this first quarter. The Dolphins with a 7-0 lead. A 40-yard attempt for Garo Yepemian. Morrow holding from the near side inbounds hash mark toward the west end zone. Waiting for the snap. Here it is, set down. The kick is up. He's got the distance. Flags go down. The kick is good. Now let's see what the flags are about. Cleveland, I think, was offside. And, of course, the Dolphins will decline the penalty. The field goal is good, a 40-yarder for Yepemian. Penalty is declined. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the first period. Dolphin football action continues from the Orange Bowl with the score. The Dolphins 10, the Browns nothing. Rick, we were back at the Orange Bowl. The kickoff was taken by Billy LaFleur, and he ran it out to the 25 before Matheson just about tore him in half, and the Browns start first down from their 25-yard line. Dolphins lead 10-0. Hooker splits far side, pitch to the near side. Kelly and Scott are the running backs, in behind Mike Phipps. They've been bottled up at their own end of the field for this first quarter. Here's the handoff. Quick opener, big hole. Scott, 30, 35, 40. Out across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Booms Bo Scott. Dick Anderson coming over to make the tackle along with Doug Swift, and a great hole up front.
That's the first time that Nick Bonaconte called it wrong. He's really been having himself a great game out here, matching wits with Phipps. But this time he went to the strength. The man came right over the middle.
18 yards on the carry by Bo Scott, and the Browns have a first down out at their 43-yard line. Bear Hooker splits to the far side, pitch to the near side. My memory serves me correctly. That is the first down of the ball game for Cleveland. Dolphins lead 10-0. Kelly and Scott are the split-backs. In behind Phipps from his 43. Waiting for the snap from center. Long count. A fumble, and Phipps falls on top of it right at the line of scrimmage. He might have lost a yard or two. He did. Back at the 41 is where they're going to mark it. Vern Denherter contained him. It was a mix-up on the snap, and Hines comes out. Bob Matheson goes in on the Dolphins' 53 and variation prevent defense. Loss of a couple of yards. They mark it back at the Browns' 41, and it'll be a second down coming up in 12. 49 seconds left to play. In this first quarter, the Dolphins out in front 10-0 on a blocked punt by Charlie Babb. He ran it 5 yards, 6 yards into the end zone. Yepremian kicked a 40-yard field goal. Second and 12, Browns from their 41. Mike Phipps, the quarterback, on the snap. Hands off, quick opener through the hole. As Scott crossed the 50 down into Dolphins territory before he is gang tackled at the Miami 44-yard line. And a trap again right up the middle as Dick Anderson makes the stop on the play for Miami. And it's a first down for Cleveland at the Miami 44-yard line.
Hate to say it again, Rick, but Nick goofed again on that one. He shot as he shot by Bo Scott, went right by him.
15-yard carry for Bo Scott, who's been the leading ground gainer for the Browns this afternoon. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. They will not have time to get this play off. And there is the end of the first quarter. Dolphin football action continues from the Orange Bowl with a score. The Dolphins 10, the Browns nothing. As we get ready to begin play in the second quarter, the Browns have a first down at the Miami 44-yard line. Leroy Kelly and Bo Scott remain the running backs. Frank Pitts splits to the far side, and Fair Hooker to the near side. Phipps has tried a pass, had it intercepted. Waiting for the snap from center as the Browns try to continue this drive. On the snap, here's the handoff. Scott through a hole on the right side and booms his way down to about the 40-yard line. Bo Scott, who weighs about 230 pounds. Doug Swift makes the tackle on the play. And Bob Hines comes back in, the Dolphin defensive alignment, at a tackle position. The ball is inside the Dolphins' 40. And we'll call it a second down and 5. Actually, it's about 4.5. Ken Brown, who has no college background, 5'10", 203, number 30, a 3-year running back for the Browns, is in there. And Kelly and Brown are the running backs. A second down and 5 for Cleveland. The ball inside the Dolphins' 40-yard line. Pitts and Hooker are split wide. Play fake. Phipps drops the throw. Now having to rush. He's running to his right. He can run. Turns the corner. 35, 30, and is knocked down at the 25. Fumbles the ball. Let's see if it went out of bounds on the far side. If it did, it remains their possession, or if the whistle had already blown.
Elected to run.
Doug Swift made the tackle on the play, and the Browns retain possession as Phipps, looking more like a planned run out of the quarterback option series, picks up a first down for Cleveland down at the Miami 25-yard line. Sprinted out of the pocket, moved to his right, turned the corner, and gets the first down at the Dolphins' 25-yard line. This is the most serious threat for the Cleveland organization. Leroy Kelly and Ken Brown remain the running backs. Fair Hooker splits to the near side. Frank Pitts to the far side. In the eye are the backs behind Mike Phipps. He takes the handoff. Hands off to Ken Brown, trying to get over the left side, and he's going no place. He is stacked up. No gain on the play. Curtis Johnson sliding over from his right quarterback spot, along with tackle Bob Hines, made the contact.
Rick, this is a test for that defense. They've got to keep them down. They can't let them get 7 points up on the scoreboard. If they do score, they've got to limit it to nothing but a field goal.
Second down, and we'll call it 10. The scoreboard has it 9. Actually, didn't pick up anything. And we've just started the second quarter. The Dolphins lead by a score of 10-0. The offense didn't get the TD. Charlie Babb blocked a Don Cockroft punt, ran it in for a TD. And then Yepremian kicked a 40-yard field goal. Second down and 10. Here's Phipps, play fake. Sprints back. He fires down deep. Pitts is down there. He can't hold it. Incomplete. He was in behind the Dolphins secondary, but the ball was just a little bit overthrown. And instead of a touchdown, it's a long incompletion. Tim Foley and Jake Scott were covering back there, but Pitts, who has 9.5 speed in the 100, was in behind him, and the ball was just a little bit overthrown. Bob Matheson and Lloyd Mumford come into the Dolphins' defensive alignment. Ken Brown goes out for the Browns, and Bo Scott comes back in. It's a third down and 10 from the Miami 25-yard line. As Pitts splits to the far side. Former Kansas City Chief, he played in a couple of Super Bowl games. Fair Hooker to the near side. Kelly and Scott on third and 10. As Phipps drops straight back to throw, gets excellent protection. He fires in the middle. It is intercepted at the 6, the 10, out to the 15, the 20, up the near side. Curtis Johnson, 30, 35, out to the 40-yard line. He is decked right there at the 40-yard line. Curtis Johnson The Dolphins' right cornerback, as the pass was overthrown, picked it off back at the 6-yard line and runs it back 34 yards. So the Browns' turnovers again hurt them, and the Dolphins' alert defense not only saves a touchdown, but saves a field goal. As the Dolphins take it back, that's the second interception on Phipps this afternoon. Kick and Zonka, the running back. First down Miami from the Dolphin 40. Warfield splits far side, 20 to the near side. Zonka and Kick are in an eye. Johnson with the interception, a run back. Here's a handoff to Zonka. Big hole left side out across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. Tackled by Sumner and Darden, the two safety men. And here comes the Merkin as Kick comes out. The Dolphins' offensive backfield. They mark it up the 46-yard line, so give them a gain of 6, second down and 4. That pass interception for Curtis Johnson was his 4th of the season. Dolphins from our 46. Warfield splits far side, 20 to the near side, second down and 4. Morrill, the quarterback. Dolphins lead 10-0. We're in the second quarter. Here's the snap. Pitch shot to Morris. Sweep to the near side. Turns the corner. Bounces off a tackler. Still going inside the 50. And not knocked off his feet till he gets to the Cleveland 48-yard line. He was hit back at about the Dolphins 48. Bounced off that tackler and just kept going. And that's good enough for a Miami first down. The tackle made by Tom Darden. First down for the Dolphins. They mark it at the Browns 47. Henry?
Dale Lindsey's got to be shaking his head. He grabbed Mercury and turned him almost completely around, but Merck kept his balance on that. Beautiful moves by Mercury and great balance.
The trouble is, though, Henry, really Dale Lindsey didn't put his shoulder in the Merck, and that's the only way you're going to ever stop him.
All right, the ball at the Browns 47. First down Miami. Warfield splits far side, 20 to the near side. Morris and Zonka the split backs behind Morrow. And there's a mix-up on the play as the ball was never snapped and flags go down. Morrill started to drop back and he didn't have the football. And flags go down, an illegal procedure call against Miami, an obvious mix-up as Langer, the center, just held onto the ball. And the Browns will take the penalty, and that'll mark the ball back at the Miami 48-yard line.
Good thing he held onto that ball, too, Rick, because nothing looks more foolish when he centers that ball and squirts up there, nobody to get it.
That'll bring up a first down and 15 for Miami. The ball at the Dolphins' 48-yard line. Airtime if the Dolphins win from Pittsburgh. Next Sunday on New Year's Eve Day on WIOD for the Pittsburgh-Miami AFC Championship game will be at 11:50 as the kickoff has been scheduled for noon. On first and 15, here's the handoff. Morris sweep to the far side, turns the corner, gets down to the 45 in Browns territory, and is knocked out of bounds on the far side of the field by right linebacker Billy Andrews. And they're going to mark it just outside the Browns' 45-yard line, so we get about 7 yards. And Kick and Otto Stowe come in. Wayne Moore and Bob Kuchenberg throwing the blocks. Kuch has been bothered with a bad back all week. Otherwise, the rest of the Dolphins are healthy.
I'll tell you, Rick, the way Cooch got out there in front of the ball carrier on this one, it doesn't look like that back is bothering him one iota.
Second down and 8. Miami's football at the Browns' 45. Warfield, Twilley, and Stowe. The wide receivers, Warfield and Twilley split to the near side, Stowe to the far side. Morris and Kick are the running backs. Here's the handoff. The Kick flag goes down, and he's going to be tossed for a loss. Back at about the 47-yard line, but flags go down on the play. Jerry Shirk, the Browns' right tackle, along with Bob Briggs, the right end, who have done a great job for this Cleveland defense this afternoon, in on the tackle, and we'll see what this is about. Offsides, the initial indication against Miami.
And, Rick, there had to be a mix-up somewhere on that offensive line because actually they let Johnson free and Shirk free. No one was even blocking those guys, so there had to be a mix-up on that offensive play.
Well, the Dolphins' offensive unit has not looked cohesive this afternoon, and the penalty is declined by Cleveland, and they will take the down. Zonka comes in, and Kick comes out. The ball remains at the Browns' 47-yard line. And now Kick turns around as he got to the near sideline and comes right back in again. And Mercury Morris comes out. And Morris gets off the field just in time. A third down and 9. Dolphins from the Browns' 47-yard line. Morrill drops back to throw. He sets up. He is firing deep for Warfield down the far side. He's down there. He can't hold it at the 4-yard line. Covering back on the play was Ben Davis, the right cornerback, who followed him and stuck to him like glue. The pass was right on target, and Davis was there and deflected it away. So Garrow comes in. We're going to get a field goal attempt here toward the east end, which will be some 56 yards. Garrow's longest of the year, 54. if indeed it is a field goal attempt. They're going to mark the ball. Morrill will mark it at the Dolphins' 46, so this will be a 54-yard attempt. Tom Darden is back to field it in case it's missed. Garrow has a 40-yarder earlier and missed a 46-yarder. This is a 54-yard attempt. Snap is high. He gets the kick up. He's got the distance. It is just a little bit off to the left side, and he missed it. He had the distance, and that's, I don't think the ball hit the crossbar, but just off to the kicker's left side, so it's no good, and the Browns will start operating from their 20-yard line. Browns will begin play from the 20, and we have a timeout. Dolphin football action continues from the Orange Bowl with the score, the Dolphins 10, the Browns nothing. Rick Weaver back at the Orange Bowl. The Browns ready to operate. First down on the Premier's missed field goal attempt for the Brownies from their 20-yard line. Moving from our right to our left. Phipps, the quarterback, has Kelly and Scott, the running backs. He spins, hands to Scott. He hits a hole on the right side, and he, in turn, is just about pulled apart by Doug Swift and Vern Denherter. They really applied the pressure and dropped him after about a 3-yard gain out to the 23-yard line. Manny Fernandez also in on the tackle. It'll be a second down and 7. 9 minutes, 27 seconds left to play in the first half. The Dolphins lead 10-0. And this Brown defense really came to play today, and the Dolphin offense, which has been the best in the history of the National Football League rushing the football, has not been able to do too well against those two big tackles, and particularly the right defensive end, Bob Briggs. Second down and 7. Browns from their 23. Phipps waits for the snap. He has it, drops straight back to throw, gets a rush, fires for the near sideline, overthrown, out of bounds. Incomplete, caught by Don Shula. Shula made a great catch on the play. It was intended for a hooker right down the near side by the Dolphins bench, and good pressure was applied, and Phipps had to put the ball up. It's incomplete.
I'm surprised that Don didn't start running with that ball towards the goal line, Rick.
Don, an old cornerback for the Cleveland Browns, the Redskins, and the Baltimore Colts. Third down and 7. Browns back in a huddle. They have the football at their 23, and they made a penetration and a pass interception earlier in this ball game by Curtis Johnson. Stopped him at the 6-yard line. Back to throw goes Phipps again. He has plenty of time. Now it breaks down on him, and he's dumped back at the 14-yard line. Bill Stanfield, the Dolphins' right side defensive end, the 4-year veteran from Georgia, got to him. Vern Denherter also applied the pressure, and they mark it back at the 15.
Rick Bill Stanfield, selected as AFC this week, really deserves it when you look at the pressure that he put on that pass around that one. Actually, it looked like it was completely out of the play, and then rose up off his knees and made the tackle. Great play.
That is the 11th sack for Stanfield this year, and so Cockcroft will have to punt. In a similar situation earlier, Babb blocked one, ran it into the end zone for the only touchdown of the ball game. Cockcroft stands a yard deep in the end zone, the line of scrimmage. The Browns 15, Jake Scott and Dick Anderson both deep this time. Waiting for the snap. The Dolphins stunning around, putting pressure on. Here it comes. He gets the kick out of there and hangs it up there beautifully. Nice spiral. Grabbed back at the Dolphins 43 by Scott. Gets a block, tries to turn the near side corner and is dumped back at the 41-yard line. He lost about a yard or two on the punt return attempt. John Garlington down to make the tackle on the play. 43-yard punt that time by Don Cockcroft, and the Dolphins will start from their 42-yard line. We have 8 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in this first half. There is a timeout on the field. Dolphin football action continues from the Orange Bowl with a score. Our Dolphins 10 and the Browns nothing. Morrow on first down, drops the throw, throwing deep for Warfield. He catches the ball, but he catches it out of bounds as it's incomplete along the far sidelines at the 30-yard line. On the first play back, following the timeout, Morrill dropped the throw, and he had the ball lofted in the air, and Warfield was down there in behind Ben Davis, the cornerback. But the ball was a little bit overthrown and out of bounds, and it's incomplete. Henry?
Dick Anderson was shaken up on the play previous to that. They're checking his blood pressure, giving him oxygen on the sideline. We'll have a further report as it becomes available.
All right, the Dolphins from their 42, second down and 10. This Cleveland defense has been something awesome this afternoon. Of course, so has the Miami defense, but they have managed to check one of the great rushing teams in history pretty well so far. Warfield splits far side, 20 to the near side. Kick and Zonka, the I-backs. In behind Morrill, second down and 10, Dolphins from their 42. Here's the handoff, the kick. He is hit and dropped for a loss. He never even got started by Briggs, the right side end, and he's dropped for a loss back at the 39. The ball is marked down back at the Dolphins 39. It'll bring up a third down and 13. Mandich is in and Fleming is out at the tight side end.
Rick, that Bob Briggs really tore down all the interference. He wouldn't even let Little get out on that last play.
Warfield splits far side, 20 to the near side. Dawkins kick the splitbacks. Behind Morrill, he drops to throw. He sets up. Now he's going to have to scramble, running to the far side of the field, and he's caught from behind by Walter Johnson and ridden to the turf at the 42-yard line. So that'll bring up a punting situation as he gets back just 3 yards. As Morrill had to run out of the pocket, and the Cleveland pass defense, deep secondary defense, is being keyed by that front four and those linebackers, and they are doing an excellent job in applying the pressure and stopping the running game. So Seipel, who has one 57-yard punt to his credit this afternoon, goes back. Back as the deep man are Leroy Kelly, number 44, and Tom Darden, 27. Line of scrimmage, the Dolphins 42, and Seipel standing back at about the 27-yard line. Here is the snap. He gets the kick out of there and booms a low trajectory kick. Fair catch made by Darden at the Browns' 21-yard line. And that punt traveled some 37 yards, and so the Browns will start from their 21. The Dolphin defense, as the Browns have had only one serious drive and a couple of pass interceptions, have stopped that. We got a timeout on the field, and we'll hold it here since we are all caught up with our commercial messages, with 6 minutes and 46 seconds left to play in the first half. Henry?
Dick Anderson got a bruised neck. He's back in there. He'll be okay.
Leroy Kelly and Bo Scott, the running backs. Mike Phipps, the quarterback. Fair Hooker and Frank Pitts, the wide receivers. Pitts is split to the far side. Hooker to the near side. Waiting for the snap from center. Here it is. The handoff goes to Scott. He's over the right side and gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Bo Scott, as the Dolphins waiting for him. Mike Colin, who's done an excellent job from his weak side linebacker spot for the Dolphins this afternoon, makes the tackle, and Manny Fernandez also in on the stop. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 10. As the Dolphins do when they get it down up, and Hines comes out limping, and Bob Matheson goes in.
Manny Fernandez really had a great play that last one, Rick. Went right over Bob DeMarco in order to make that tackle.
The Browns come out of the huddle. They send Pitts wide to the far side and Hooker to the near side. Mike Phipps, a 3-year veteran from Purdue. His hometown is Columbus, Indiana. Drops back to throw. He is firing deep up the middle. It is caught by Kelly, and he is hit and holds onto the ball at the Browns' 48-yard line. The Dolphins, Tim Foley made the tackle, and there was a scramble for it as Kelly juggled it around, but he held onto it as Phipps drilled him with a strike. Kelly coming off the far side and out of the backfield was the receiver on a 27-yard pass completion, and the Browns pick up a first down out to their 48-yard line. Kelly, before this season, signed a 2-year contract with the Browns, and he says he's going to play one more year and then hang it up. He also has a personal services agreement with the Browns organization. First down, Cleveland from their 48. As the fans set up a howl on that last play, they thought that the official perhaps blew the ball dead too soon, as Foley was grappling with it. A flag goes down as Phipps is back to throw. Here's a pass to Phipps, and he can't hold on to it. Down at the 35-yard line. Incomplete. We're going to get an illegal motion call against Cleveland. Tim Foley and Jake Scott were the defenders on the play. Phipps can really fire the football, and he had the distinction of playing in his college career on a Purdue team that never lost to Notre Dame. Henry?
Bob Hines suffered a bruised left knee. He'll be able to come back in a little while.
Illegal motion penalty against the Browns declined by Miami. The Dolphins will take the down instead, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 situation for the Brownies from their 48-yard line. 5 minutes, 13 seconds left to play in the first half. Dolphins in a defensive struggle lead 10-0. But the Browns defense has been able to halt their offense. And the one Dolphin touchdown was scored by the specialty team on a blocked punt. All right, Frank Pitts splits far side, Fair Hooker near side. Scott and Kelly, the split backs, in behind Phipps on a 2nd down and 10 for the Browns from their 48-yard line. Long count at the line of scrimmage. Here's the handoff. Kelly is caught at the line of scrimmage and falls forward to just the 49, just a gain of a yard.
Nick Bonaconte playing those game of wits down there, Rick. He shot right in the gap and made the tackle. Nipped the runner right in the hole.
Just a gain of a yard. That'll bring up 3rd down and 9 as Bonaconte, guessing correctly, makes the tackle on the play. Kelly has not been the big gun this afternoon as far as the Cleveland offense. It's been Bo Scott on trap plays up the middle. Earlier in the ball game, he picked up good yardage. Just a gorgeous day here in Miami for football here on Christmas Eve. Pitts splits far side. Hooker near side. 3rd down and 9. Browns from their 49. Phipps drops back to throw. Gets the rush. He fires the middle. It is caught. Dropped. Incomplete. Ruled incomplete. The receiver on the play was Bo Scott. Circling out of the backfield, and he caught the ball and then was hit, dropped it. They ruled it an incomplete pass at the Dolphins' 46. So the Dolphins' no-name defense holds again. And this shows how great they worked that 53 defense, Rick. Bonacani shot there in place of Matheson. Matheson covered up the area that Bonacani ordinarily would be going to, and he's right there when Scott came out.
All right, Cockcroft into punt. He'll stand at the Browns 34. The line of scrimmage, the Cleveland 49. Jake Scott is back deep at the 10, and Dick Anderson shallow for Miami. Waiting for the snap from center. Here it is. It's a high snap. Bubbled around by Cockcroft. He is dumped, gets up, and he's going to be down back at the Cleveland 39-yard line. Jim Mandich was the man who was in there. That was a bad snap, and he needed a step ladder to get that one. He did get a hand on it, knocked the ball down. It bounced off the ground, and by the time he picked it up, Mandich was in on top of him, and the official ruled that he was down at the Cleveland 39-yard line. So the Dolphins defense and specialty teams come to the fore again, as a breakdown in punting and a couple of pass interceptions have been to the detriment of the Browns thus far. Morrill, the quarterback, has Warfield split far side, Bully to the near side, Morris and Zonka the split backs from the Brownies' 39-yard line. Waiting for the snap. Here's the handoff. Zonka over the left side. He gets about a yard to the 38. They are giving ground grudgingly. Dolphins averaging 211 yards per ball game throughout the season on the ground. Jerry Shirk again, along with the middle linebacker Dale Lindsey on the tackle. It'll be a 2nd down and 9. Dolphins football. The ball just inside the Browns 39. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left to play in the first half. Miami leading 10-0.
Number 83, please.
Trying to capitalize on another Brown mistake. Warfield splits far side, Twilly to the near side. Morris, the slot man left. Zonka is the other back behind Morrill. 2nd down and 9 from the Cleveland 38.5. Hand off to Zonka, sweep to the left, shakes the tackler, turns the corner, puts his head down, and rams his way down to about the 35-yard line. But there is a flag on the play, I believe on the far side of the field there is. Billy Andrews and Tom Darden make the tackle for Cleveland.
Rick, this Bob Briggs, number 84, has really had himself a good day playing at right end. He's given Wayne Moore all sorts of fits out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this is even a holding call on Wayne Moore.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. As to who it's on, we'll have to determine, but it is a holding infraction call against Miami. And this ball club, going back into the regular season, defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers, who will play the winner of this ball game next Sunday. By a score of 26-24, and then were shut out by Pittsburgh 30-0. So the infraction, 15-yard penalty for offensive holding against Miami, marks the ball back at the Dolphins' 47-yard line, and it'll bring up the 2nd down at about 24. They have to get down inside the Cleveland 30 for a first down. Henry?
It was Wayne Moore that got the holding penalty.
3 minutes, 21 seconds to go in the first half. Miami leads 10-0. Split far side. Warfield, Twilly to the near side. They've done a good job on pass coverage. The Browns have. Morrill up under center on the snap. Play fake, drops to throw, sets up, being rushed. He has to eat it. Cross for a loss. As the protection broke down, and Walter Johnson gets in on him. The 8-year veteran from Cal State of Los Angeles. And Morrill is dumped for a loss. Back at about the 38-yard line. That's the 2nd time that they've gotten to him this afternoon.
Rick, they've had a lot of problem on that defensive line coming up with the right combination there in Cleveland. But I think these 4 guys really are playing great ball today. That Nick Roman was the 10th defensive end at that position. But right now, Roman and Briggs look great at those defensive ends, and Johnson and Shirk are really doing their job.
3rd down and 33. Mandich is in. Fleming is out at tight end for Miami. The ball is way back at the Dolphins' 38-yard line now. And the Dolphins have have Mandich split out as a wide receiver to the far side. Dropping back to throw. Here is the handoff to Morris on the so-called Statue of Liberty, and he is dumped for another big loss. As Morrill was dropping the throw, Morris coming around from the far side, took the handoff, and the Cleveland defense was waiting for it and dumped him for a loss back at the 27-yard line. Nick Roman, the defensive left end, makes the tackle as they're going to mark it back at the 26. So that brings up a punting situation, and this Cleveland defense has really got the Miami offense scouted thus far. And the Dolphins started this drive off that bad snap to Cockcroft and got the football at the Cleveland 40, and they wind up with it all the way back to the Miami 26. And that's how tough this Cleveland defense has been. How these guys could have been as bad through the season as the statistics show is unbelievable to me. But as we said at the beginning of the contest, this is a playoff game, and anything can happen. Seipel will punt. He will stand back at the 11-yard line. Kelly and Darden are the deep men to receive the punt. The line of scrimmage, the Dolphin 26. Here is the snap. He gets it out of there, and he gets up beauty. A long, high spiral. Darden fair catches the ball back at the Cleveland 25-yard line. A 49-yard punt, almost 50 yards for Larry Seipel through the air. And a great kick by the young man from Kentucky who was out of commission for several weeks with the bad leg. We have 2 minutes, 34 seconds to go in the half. The Browns are ready to go to work with a first down from their 25. The running backs are Kelly and Scott. Phipps, play fake, drops the throw, sets up, swings the screen out to Scott. Got it 25 at the far sideline to the 30 and is knocked out of bounds at the Cleveland 33-yard line on the far side of the field. It'll be a couple of yards shy of what they need for a first down. Doug Swift, Dick Anderson makes the tackle on the play. And they're going to mark it at the 34, so he's only a yard away from first down territory on the 9-yard completion on the screen to Bo Scott. Second down and 1 for the Browns from their 34. And we are rapidly approaching the 2-minute warning area of this first half. Miami with a 10-0 lead, but unable to move the football offensively against a determined Browns defense. Fair, Hooker, and Pitts are the wide receivers. Kelly, slot man left. Phipps on the drop way, hands to Scott. Big hole, 35, 40 out across the 45 to the 46. Drop way to Bo Scott that time. Big hole over the left side. Linebacker Doug Swift makes the tackle for Miami. 2 minutes and 6 seconds. That, of course, is good for a first down. 2:06 left to play in the first half. From the Browns, 46. Phipps looks left, fires up the middle. It is picked off by the Dolphins. 30 back to the 25 before he is tackled. And the man who makes the interception for Miami is Jake Scott.
Should be the 2-minute warning coming up any minute here, Rick.
Dick Anderson gets the interception. It was not Scott. Dick Anderson, and the Dolphins have the football back at their 29-yard line. He pulled the ball in at the 35 and was tackled back at the 29. There's the 2-minute warning. Dolphin football action continues from the Orange Bowl with the score, the Dolphins 10, the Browns nothing. The Dolphins' rushing attack, which has averaged 211 yards per game on the season, has been held to unofficially 48 yards on the ground. Cleveland has rushed for 64 yards. And so it's been a defensive battle with 1 minute and 55 seconds to go in the half, and Miami leading 10-0. Dolphins from the 29. Here is Zonka. They are keying on him. He hits the left side, gets a yard to the 30-yard line. Walter Johnson makes the tackle. The Brownies are very upset going into this ball game because they had nobody selected on the Pro Bowl team, and they thought particularly the 2 tackles, Johnson and Shook, should have been selected. Here is the handoff on the reverse. Warfield coming to the near side to the 30, 35, 40, 45, and he's knocked out of bounds up at the 49-yard line in Miami territory. Almost reached the midfield stripe, and that's where they're going to mark it. That has been the biggest gainer for the Dolphins this afternoon, and earlier it picked up 21 yards. Darden makes the tackle and rammed him out of bounds right at the midfield stripe, and the Dolphins come up with a first down out to the 50-yard line. About 20-yard gain on the play, and Stowe comes in and Warfield comes out. That has been the biggest gainer, the flanker around for the Dolphins this afternoon. Now Fleming is out and Mandich is in at tight end. First down, Miami at the 50-yard line. Since the play did go out of bounds, the clock is stopped with 1 minute and 28 seconds left to play in the first half. Dolphins lead 10-0. Interceptions by Curtis Johnson, Doug Swift, Dick Anderson. Block punt or a touchdown by Charlie Babb keyed the game for the Dolphins. Here's Morrill hitting Jim Kick with a slant out to the near side. He picks up about 5. Tackled at the Browns' 45-yard line. Dale Lindsey, the middle linebacker, makes the stop on the play. Gain of 5. It'll be a second down coming up at 5, and Miami will use up a timeout as Morrill comes over to discuss the situation with Don Shula. Warfield comes out. Otto Stowe goes, or rather, Stowe is out, and Warfield comes back in, the Miami offensive alignment. Clock is stopped with 1 minute and 21 seconds left to play in the first half. We will carry the Dolphins' participation all the way through the Super Bowl if we are fortunate enough to get that far on WIOD. Dolphins have Jim Kick and Larry Zonka as the running backs, and time is in now as Morrill comes quickly back from the Dolphins sideline into the huddle. 1 minute and 21 seconds left to play in the half. Miami leads 10-0 with a second down and 5 now from the Browns' 45-yard line. Doug Swift, Curtis Johnson, and Dick Anderson pass interceptions. Charlie Babb blocked the Don Cockcroft punt, ran it in early in the ball game for a touchdown. You premium a 40-yard field goal, and that's all the scoring. Here is Morrill dropping back to throw. He sets up, he fires over the middle. It is incomplete, and there's a flag thrown at the 23-yard line, and let's see what this is all about. He got pretty good pressure just as he released the ball. Mandich was down there, and also Warfield, but the penalty is going to be against Cleveland. Now let's see whether it's going to be pass interference or defensive holding. Henry?
It's holding, and I didn't see the number, but it appeared to me that Jim Mandich was held up.
Right, Mandich, I believe, was the primary receiver, and the ball dropped 5 yards in behind him, and he was definitely held up. A good call by the officials, and that's an automatic first down. Dolphins first down at the Browns 40. Mercury Morris comes in. He and Zonka are the running backs now for Miami. 1 minute and 15 seconds left to play. Clock will not start until the ball is put in play off the penalty. Here's Warfield and Twilley splitting to the far side, and to the near side is Jim Mandich. Zonka and Morris, the split backs, behind Morrill. First down from the Browns' 40-yard line. On the snap, here is the inside trap. Morris, big hole, 35, 30, touch to the outside, and is knocked down at the 28-yard line. Miami immediately calls a timeout as Mercury Morris found running room daylight. They trapped the dickens out of Walter Johnson that time, and Charlie Hall from the linebacker spot made the tackle on the play. A delayed handoff, and Morris found a big hole, cut out to the near side, and picks up a first down at the 28-yard line. Gain of 12 on the play, and Miami immediately calls a timeout. Stops the clock with 1 minute and 6 seconds left to go in the first half. Henry?
Rick, that holding call, a play back, was called on Dale Lindsey, so it was Jim Mandich that he held up.
1 minute, 6 seconds left to play in the first half. The Dolphins have a first down at the Browns' 28-yard line. Dolphins lead by a score of 10-0. Morris and Zonka will be the running backs as time is about ready to be ruled in. The Dolphins back in the huddle. Morrill has gone all the way. And this great Browns defense has really held the Dolphins offense so far in check. Warfield splits far side, fully to the near side. And Morris and Zonka set as the I-backs. In behind Earl Morrill from the Browns' 28-yard line on the snap. Here's the fake handoff inside, pitch to Morris, sweep to the near side, and he gets about a yard. Just got the corner turn before Nick Roman, the 3-year veteran defensive left end from Ohio State, makes the tackle at the Cleveland 27. And that will bring up a 2nd and 9. The clock continues to move with 50 seconds, 50 seconds left to go. In the first half, Warfield splits far side, 20 to the near side. Morrill, here's that reverse again, and the handoff to Morris comes across the near side, 20 down to the 15, gets to the 12. He comes off the far side of the backfield, and it is a kind of a reverse as he takes the inside handoff from Morrill, who is going away from the line of scrimmage, and that picks up a first down to the Browns' 13-yard line. The tackle by Lindsey and Darden. On the snap, here's the pass. Morrill completes and out of bounds down at the 8-yard line as Howard Twilley picks it about 5 yards, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock. Clarence Scott, the left cornerback, ran him out, and he just went out to the sideline and picks up 5 and got out of bounds to stop the clock with 17 seconds. So they've run that inside trap with Morris carrying on the delay twice and have picked up good yardage, and the situation now is a 2nd down and 5 at the Cleveland 8-yard line with 17 seconds left to play in the first half.
Rick, we should really see this defensive line coming on this play, because you know that Earl's going to throw that ball because he wants to complete it for a touchdown. If they miss it, it's going to stop the clock. So you'll really see him teeing off, trying to knock Earl for a loss.
All right, Warfield splits far side, 20 to the near side. Morris and Zonka are the split backs. In behind Morrill from the 8-yard line. Earl drops to throw. He is setting up. He is looking. He's going to run with it, and he's going to get no place. He loses a yard to the 9-yard line. And the Dolphins will... there's a timeout call by the officials, and they're going to mark it at the 10-yard line. Roman, along with Shirk and Briggs, makes the tackle on the play. And the ball is marked at the 10. We got a timeout call by Miami to stop the clock with 12 seconds. Nobody was open that Morrill could spot, and he had to eat the football and toss for a 2-yard loss. When time is in with 12 seconds showing on the board, it'll be a 3rd down and 7 for a first down, 10 yards to go for a score. Now, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Yepremian is loosening up down along the sidelines, but they want to get in for a touchdown. But time is the important factor here.
Rick, with this time, you got to think, like I say, that he's got to throw the ball. Actually, if you start running on an end run, something like this, to take up so much time, there's no way that you could get Garrow in there to kick that field goal. So he's got to drop back and throw the ball. This means that offensive line has really got to bear under, because these 4 coming. Boy, they're really playing great football.
They, incidentally, have the second-best sack record in the AFC, only to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are showing why this afternoon. Henry?
Bob Greasy and Don Shula both conferring with Earl Morrill on the sideline there. We'll see what they come up with.
All right, Morris is out, and kick comes in, and he and Zonka will be the backs. When time is in, 12 seconds left to go in the half. The Dolphins have the ball at the Browns' 10 with a 3rd down and 7. Let's see what the strategy calls for. Warfield splits far side, 20 to the near side. Kick and Zonka are the split backs, and now Twilley sets in tight. On a 3rd down and 7. On the snap, Morrill drops back to throw, and now he's going to run, and he gets to the 11, and that's all.
He gets to the 11, and Nick Roman brings him down. And the field goal unit immediately runs on the field. Time is halted with 7 seconds left to play in the first half, and they're going to have to set up tightly. Now the clock starts to move. 3 seconds snap. Kick is up. It is good, but there's a flag on the play. There's a flag on the play. The Dolphins did not have a timeout left, and they had to hurry to get the play in motion. There was a flag drop before they got the kick up, and let's see whether it's going to count or not. The kick was good. Now the officials are conferring with the Browns, and the clock had stopped, showing 7 seconds. Illegal procedure is the call against Miami. There is no time left showing on the board. And there is the gun ending the first half. That's the way it should have ended. The penalty was against the offense, and we finally got the signal from the officials. The Dolphins did not have a timeout left, apparently. They had used up all of their timeouts, and they had either too many or not enough men on the field. In the confusion, Yepremian got the kick up and went through the uprights, but the flag was immediately dropped. And the Dolphins are penalized, and of course the penalty against the offense allows the time to run out, and the field goal does not count. So that's the end of the first half. Our Dolphins 10 and the Browns nothing. LaFleur grabs the opening kickoff down at the 9 and returns it back out to the 19-yard line. Billy LaFleur, one of the kickoff return specialists for the Browns, is tackled by Hubert Ginn and Bob Matheson. So the Browns start from their own 19-yard line as we begin playing the second half of this playoff game. The winner to meet the Pittsburgh Steelers next Sunday, a game that you'll hear here in Miami on WIOD beginning at 11:50. Phipps, the quarterback, with Kelly and Scott, the I-backs. Here's the handoff to Scott on a delay, hits the middle and gets to about the 21, and that's all. Bob Hines, Bill Stanfill on the Dolphins' front four, along with Manny Fernandez, makes the tackle. Gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8 yards to go as Matheson comes in now, the Dolphins' prevent defense, and Bob Hines comes out. Ball at the Cleveland 21. They are moving from our right to our left toward the west end, and here in December, the shadows really casting over the Orange Bowl turf. Early in the ball game, Pitts and Hooker deploy as double wide receivers off to the far side. Scott and Kelly, the I-backs, in behind Phipps. Second down and 8. Browns from their 21-yard line. Now he looks over the defense, takes the handoff. Here, a stutter step, and going into the left side as Leroy Kelly gets out to the 25, perhaps the 26-yard line. Gain of 5 for the veteran 9-year running back from Morgan State. The tackle by Stanfield and Doug Swift for the Dolphins. That'll bring up a third down situation and about 4 for the Browns in the first half. They not only stopped the running game, 108 yards in the first half for the Dolphins, but we got only 12 yards net through the air. The Dolphins defense held the Browns to 107 yards on the ground and just 32 through the air. Third down and 4. Cleveland's football from their 26-yard line. Mike Phipps, the quarterback, looks over the defensive alignment. Now calls the signals, waiting for the snap. Long count. Here's the handoff. Scott hits the middle. He did not make the first down, and a big pileup at the 28-yard line. He's about a yard shy as they were waiting for him. Manny Fernandez, the whole center of the Dolphin defensive line in there. Fernandez gets up off the bottom of the pile, so that forces another punting situation. Cockcroft in to handle that chore.
Nick Monicani called a lot of various defenses there in the first half, Rick, and I think here at halftime, when they went back in there, they were told to let's get back to the basics and stop that run.
All right, Cockcroft will stand back at the 13. The line of scrimmage, the Browns 28. Jake Scott is deep. Dick Anderson shallow. For Miami to field the punt. Dolphins lead by a score of 10-0. Here is the snap. He gets the kick out of there, end over end. It'll be grabbed by Anderson. Fair catches the ball for the Dolphins at their 40-yard line. So the Dolphins will start from their 40. As Cockcroft got that one out of there in a hurry, not too much of a rush put on, but it was a low trajectory kick, end over end, and Anderson, who was the shallow man, grabbed the football. Just a 32-yard punt that time. Morris and Zonka will be the running backs. Warfield splits left, fully to the near side. The fans hollering for some offense. Morrill, the quarterback. First down, Dolphins from their 40-yard line. They've just started the third quarter. Here's the handoff. Mercury through the middle. Carries a tackler with him. Gets out to about the 43. Morris, the ball carrier. Tackle made by Waller Johnson. Along with Jerry Shirk, those 2 interior tackles, and what a job they have done. That whole front four for Cleveland has been just great so far this afternoon. Gain of 3 on the play. It'll be a second down coming up and 7.
I think we should see Earl start throwing some flares in here, Rick. Either some flares or some of the short passes right over the middle to Fleming.
Zonka and Morris, the I-backs. Twilley split near side. 2nd and 7, Miami's football from their 43-yard line. Dolphins lead 10-0. We're in the third quarter. He spins, hands off. Zonka, hold the right side. Dragging tacklers with him across the 45. Gets out to the 48-yard line. Great effort by Larry that time as he put his head down and he just carried somebody impaled on his horns there. Dale Lindsay, the middle linebacker, got a free ride, and he picks up about 5 out to the 48-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2. We have 11 minutes, 5 seconds left to play in this third quarter. Dolphins lead 10-0. Fleming is in. Mandich is in. The 2 tight ends for the power blocking up front on 3rd down and short yardage. 3rd down and 2. Dolphins from their 48-yard line. They've got to take it to this Cleveland defense and show them who's boss. They have not been able to establish that yet thus far. Waiting for the snap. Here is the handoff. Going to Zonka. He is hit at the line of scrimmage, coming across the right side, and does not get it. He gets to the line of scrimmage and is dumped right there at the 48-yard line. Clarence Scott, the left cornerback, second-year man from Kansas State. Walter Johnson, Jerry Shirk, all in on the stop. So Larry Seipel will have to punt. This Cleveland defense, you cannot say enough about them. And Seipel will stand back at about the 33-yard line, the line of scrimmage, the Dolphins' 48. Leroy Kelly and Tom Darden are the deep men back to field the punt. Wind is not a factor. A little bit of high snap. Seipel gets it out of there. Gets off a wobbly end-over-end kick to the far side. Darden grabs it on the run at the 19, up to the 20, the far sideline to 30, far sideline to the 40, 45, 50, and he's knocked down at the Dolphin 45-yard line. To the 44-yard line is where they're going to mark it. Just a magnificent return by punt return specialist Tom Darden, the rookie from Michigan.
And Larry Seipel was the only one who had a chance at him, Rick, and Larry made the tackle.
37-yard return. Timeout on the field. Dolphin football action continues from the Orange Bowl with a score. The Dolphins 10 and the Browns nothing. Rick Weaver back at the Orange Bowl. The Browns following that 37-yard punt return by Darden of a 33-yard Seipel punt. Seipel had to make the tackle, have the ball at the Dolphins' 44. Phipps on the snap. Play fakes. Drops the throw. He has plenty of time. Now he fires for the near side. It is caught by Moore on the tight end of 30. He's knocked down at the Dolphins' 25-yard line by cornerback Curtis Johnson. Milt Moran, they try to go to him earlier in the day, and that's the first pass that he has received. Let's see where they're going to mark it. His progress may have carried him a little bit farther than the 25. It did, inside the 25 to the 23 is where they mark it. So it's a first down for the Browns as Phipps hits tight end Milt Moran. And the Brownies are now just about as far as they've gotten this afternoon. They had one picked off earlier by Curtis Johnson at the 6-yard line to stop an earlier drive. First down from the Miami 23. They're down in the shadows at the west end of the field. Phipps spins, hands to Bo Scott over the left side. He gets inside the 20 down to about the 17-yard line before he's knocked off his feet. Vern Denhunter makes the tackle on the play for the Dolphins. He got about 6, so it'll be a second down and 4. Fair Hooker, whom they have not thrown to this afternoon. Frank Pitts, the other wide receiver. More on the tight end. Kelly and Scott, the running backs. Mike Phipps, the quarterback. Dolphins lead 10-0 with 8:45 to go in the third quarter. It is a second down and 4. Cleveland's ball on the Miami 17-yard line. Phipps has his backs in an eye. Waiting for the snap is Mike Phipps. Long count at the line of scrimmage. He takes the ball, fires a pass, caught by Hooker out of bounds immediately at the 9-yard line. Hooker out of bounds at the 9, and that is going to be good enough for another first down. And running him out was Curtis Johnson, the right cornerback. So Phipps going on the out pattern to the near side to his wide receiver, Fair Hooker. First down and goal for the Browns at the Dolphins' 9-yard line, and they are really knocking on the door now. This is their most serious threat, the penetration of the Browns this afternoon. Pitt splits right. Hooker to the near side. Kelly and Scott are the split backs. In behind Phipps. First and goal from the Dolphins' 9-yard line. Mike Phipps up under center, waits for the snap. Long count again. Here's the handoff. Scott hits the middle on the delay, gets to about the 5 before he's stacked up. Bo Scott, Nick Bonicani, the Dolphins' defensive captain, middle linebacker, makes the tackle on the play as they on-pile. It's very close to the 5-yard line. Dick Anderson also in on the tackle. And they haven't put the ball down yet. It's at the 5.5-yard line. Second down and 5.5 yards to go for a score for the Browns. 8 minutes exactly left to play in the third quarter. The Dolphins have been stymied on offense, but lead 10-0 on Cleveland mistakes. Ready to go. Our Mark Phipps from the Browns. Phipps splits far side. Hooker near side. Scott and Kelly. The split back. Second down, 5.5. Here's a play fake. Phipps is going to run it. He's circling the right side. He is caught at the 2 and falls into the end zone. Carried the tackler with him for the touchdown. Mike Phipps runs it in from 5 yards out. Den Herder had an arm on him and could not contain him. Phipps is a big quarterback at 6'3", 215 pounds. And so the Browns drive down the field and get into the end zone with a touchdown. And this makes a brand new ball game out of it. Bill Nelson, reserve quarterback, is in to hold. And that was a good drive for Cleveland. Cockroft will try the point from placement. It's now a 10-6 score with 7:38 left to play in this third quarter. Waiting for the snap. Here it is. Set down. The kick is up. And it is good. Dolphin football action continues from the Orange Bowl with the score. The Dolphins 10 and the Browns 7. Rick Weaver, Lou Quickmer, and Henry Barrow back at the Orange Bowl in Miami. It's now a 10-7 ball game. That drive, 44 yards, 5 plays. Phipps ran for his 6th touchdown of the year. A 5-yard scamper around right end. The big play was Darden's 37-yard punt return. Mercury Morris and Charlie Lee are back deep to receive Cockroft's kickoff. With 7:38 left to go in the third quarter, it's now a 10-7 score with the Dolphins out in front. Here is the whistle. Cockroft forward, gets the toe into it. He gets it high. It's long, and it is deep. It's fielded by Mercury Morris back in the end zone, and down. There will be no run back. And the Dolphins will start from their 20-yard line and try to get something started. We stress again that this Cleveland defense has been very, very tough. Morrow, in the first half, was able to complete only 3 out of 9 for only 21 yards, 12 net through the air. The Dolphins were held to 108 yards rushing on the ground. Jim Kick and Larry Zonka are the running backs. Earl Morrow remains the quarterback. They set in the eye. Twilly is split off the near side. Now the back split. First down, Dolphins from the 20-yard line. Moving from our left to our right. Morrow spins, hands the kick through a hole in the middle. 25 out to the 29 to the 30-yard line. First, Jim Kick. Good blocking up front from the center of that line. Kuchenberg, Langer, and Little. Ben Davis, the right cornerback, coming over to make the stop. It is not quite enough for a first down, about a half-yard shy. Just inside the Dolphins 30. Second down, less than a yard for a first down. Warfield, whom they have contained. Twilly has caught one on the wide receivers. The backs are in an eye. Here's the handoff going to Kick. Bounces off a tackler. Squirts through 35, 37-yard line. Jim Kick gets the first down for Miami out to the Dolphins' 37-yard line. The tackle made by Darden and right linebacker Billy Andrews. Butch Cassidy of the team of Butch and Sundance has carried a couple of times and picks up a first down.
Rick, maybe that score against Miami is what this offensive team has needed. Get them up a little bit.
Kick and Zonka remain the running backs, and they are split in behind Morrill as Warfield splits left and Twilly to the near side. First down, Miami from the Dolphins' 37-yard line. Morrill on the snap, play fake, drops back to throw, has time, fires for the near sideline. Twilly's got it, and it's a first down. He is trapped by Clarence Scott, but he got inside Scott and just stood there, and there was nothing that Scott could do. He had him screened off from the ball, and the ball hit him right in the letters, a perfect pass, and the Dolphins have a first down at the Browns' 46-yard line. Howard Twilly picks up his second reception of the afternoon. Scott really cracked him just as he did earlier in the ball game, but he held on to the football. That's his third reception, I beg your pardon. Ball at the Browns' 46, first down, Miami. Warfield split far side. Twilly to the near side. Kick and Zonka, the split backs behind Morrill. Here's the handoff. Going to Kick. Stutter steps inside. Puts his head down and rams his way inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. Waller Johnson, defensive left tackle for the Browns, makes the stop on the play. A gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7.
Rick, in order to get a little more time, Earl has been rolling that pocket out to either the right or the left. When he stops straight back, that defensive line has been getting to him. I imagine we'll see this the rest of the game.
Well, the ball, at least from my point of view, does not match the yard marker. The yard marker is at the 43.5, and they put the ball at the 44-yard line. It'll be a second down and 8. Here is the handoff. Kick. Big hole right side. 40 down to the 37-yard line, and that's going to be very close to a first down. Nick Roman, the left end. Charlie Hall, the left linebacker, made the tackle, and that offensive line of the Dolphins is really firing off that football now and blocking the tails off of the Browns defense. Twilly is out, and Mandich comes in on the short yardage situation. They did not make the first down. It's third down, less than a yard. Mandich and Fleming, the two tight ends. The ball at the Cleveland 37-yard line. 4:38 left to go in the third quarter. Dolphins lead 10-7. Kick and Zonka remain the split backs. Warfield sets as a wingman left. Third down, less than a yard from the Browns 37. Here's the handoff. Kick over the left side. First down. He fumbles the ball. Who's got it? Browns. Looks like at their 34. They recover. Kick was hit, stripped of the football, and Charlie Hall, the linebacker for Cleveland, came up with it. So the Dolphins cough it up. Just as they had the drive going, and this is bound to turn the momentum around, he had the first down made and lost the football. There is a timeout on the field. Dolphin football action continues from the Orange Bowl with a score. The Dolphins 10, the Browns 7. Covered, and they have the ball at their 33. Trailing by just 3 points with 4:22 to go in the third quarter. Mike Phipps brings his ball club up to the line of scrimmage. Hooker split left, pitch to the far side. Kelly and Scott are the split-backs. In behind the quarterback, Phipps. From the 33, here's the handoff. Going to Scott, finds a hole, and it is jammed up in a hurry. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. He had a hole and cut back to his left, and it was the wrong direction to go in because Nick Bonacani about took him in half.
DeMary, the right guard, Rick, was supposed to lead him through that hole, and he dropped back and got right in his path, and this is what messed him up. He couldn't get through that hole.
No gain, second down and 10. The ball at the Browns 33. Hines is out, and Matheson is in on the Dolphins' prevent defense. 3 minutes, 53 seconds to go in period number 3. Dolphins lead by only the margin of a 40-yard field goal by Garo Yepremian. The offense for the Dolphins have not scored a touchdown. 10-7 is the score. Second down and 10. Browns from their 33-yard line. Waiting for the snap. Phipps hands off on the delay. Scott threw a hole on the left side. He's caught by Bonacani before he was able to find too much daylight. Gets out to about the 38-yard line. Gain of about 4.5, maybe 5. They put the ball down at the 37.5. We'll call it the 38. It'll be third down and about 6 yards. Actually 5.5 to go for a Cleveland first down. 3 minutes, 17 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Dolphins 10, Browns 7. This has turned into a real Pier 6 brawl, a dogfight. Hit splits far side. Hooker near side. Scott and Kelly, the split backs behind Phipps. He drops to throw. He drops deep. He sets up. Good protection. Firing deep. It is overthrown. Intended for Kelly down at the 35 on a deep slant over the middle. And Jake Scott covered on the play. And Phipps just put the ball up too high in the air for him. So that brings up a punting situation.
And I'll tell you, Rick, if that ball had ever been in Kelly's hands, there's nobody in this ballpark could ever catch him. He'd go over for 6, no question.
Don Cockroft, who has been a principal weapon for the Browns with his punting this afternoon, also had one blocked. Babb blocked it, ran it back in for a touchdown. The only TD for the Dolphins in the first quarter will stand back at the 22-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the Cleveland 38. Scott is the deep man. Anderson, the shallow man. Here is the snap. It's a pretty good rush. Hangs it high. It's not too deep. Spiral. Jake Scott makes the fair catch for the Dolphins at the Miami 30-yard line. So the Dolphins will start, now they put it down at the 29, will start from their 29-yard line and try to get something going offensively here with 2 minutes and 51 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Miami with a 10-7 lead. 33-yard punt that time. Morrow will be the quarterback. Kick and Zonka the running backs. Warfield and Twilley. And they have done a job on Warfield this afternoon. Earl has tried to go to him a couple of times. Paul on the flanker around. That has been the principal weapon as far as he is concerned. The backs are set in an eye. Dolphins from their 29, moving from our left to our right. Morrill hands off the kick, finds a hole, squirts through, out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Jim Kick gets 7. He's running well. Had it not been for that fumble just a moment ago, Ben Davis and Charlie Hall, along with Jerry Shirk, in on the tackle for Cleveland. They put the ball down just outside the Miami 36-yard line.
Jerry Shirk in on the tackle.
Bobby Majors, the former Tennessee star, comes in for Sumner at a safety position in the Cleveland defensive alignment. Second down and 3, Miami's football at their 36.5-yard line. Twilley and Warfield, double wide receivers to the far side of the field. Morrill on the snap, hands to kick, stutter step, hole left side, 40. He's got the first down up to the 41-yard line. Larry Zonka is throwing some good blocking, doing some excellent blocking out in front of his buddy. On this running attack, the Dolphins have employed here in the third quarter with Kick, the principal ball carrier, and he picks up a first down out to the Miami 41, the tackle by Billy Andrews and Bobby Majors.
Rick, and we got to say something about the job that Wayne Moore is doing out there on Briggs and the job that Kuchenberg is doing over there on Shirk. They're really opening up some holes in between those two.
A minute and 23 seconds to go in the third quarter. Dolphins lead 10-7. First down, Miami at their 41-yard line. Warfield and Twilley both deploy to the near side. Kick and Zonka, the split backs behind Morrow. Earl play fake, sprints out to the near side. He's going to throw. He fires. Howard Twilley can't hold it. Incomplete. He had to come back as he had cut into his left at the 42-yard line and then fall backwards toward the sidelines, and he just couldn't hold on to the ball. Covering on the play was the cornerback Clarence Scott. That'll bring up a second down and 10 for the Dolphins. Let's pause for station identification on the Miami Dolphins Football Network.
Leasing a car is a pleasure when you deal with the largest leasing company affiliated with the General Motors dealer, William Lehman Leasing. Call for details.
WIOD Miami.
Jim Kick has just left, and Mercury Morris comes into the Dolphins backfield. He and Zonka are the running backs. Second down and 10, Miami from their 41. Warfield and Twilley split to the near side. Earl Morrill, the quarterback, spins, hands to Morris on the delay through the middle. Big hole, 45, 50 down into Browns territory at the 48-yard line. Squirts to Merck. Ben Davis, the right cornerback, coming over, had to make the tackle on the play. Great trap blocking up front by the Dolphins front line. Sumner comes back in, and Majors is out in the defensive secondary. That, of course, is good for a Dolphin first down at the Cleveland 48-yard line. And this Browns defense facing a fired-up Miami offensive line now. Twilley and Warfield, double wide receivers to the far side. Twilley on the outside, Warfield on the inside. I-backs are Morris and Zonka. First down from the Browns, 48-yard line. Hand off to Merck. Starts inside, cuts outside, and he is met head-on at the 46. After a gain of 2, Charlie Hall and Dale Lindsay, the left linebacker and middle linebacker, respectively, make the tackle on the play. A second down at 8 for the Dolphins. The ball at the Browns 46. Just 10 seconds left to play in this third quarter. Miami leading by a 10-7 score.
I'll tell you, Hall did a great job on Larry Little on that last play. Ricky just wouldn't let him give him any room, so consequently Merck had nowhere to go.
That's the end of the third period as the gun sounds. Dolphin football action will continue from the Orange Bowl with a score. The Dolphins 10 and the Browns 7. Home show following our play-by-play this afternoon with Lou Creekmer and Henry Barrow in the Dolphins locker room. But as we start the final quarter, this one is still very much in doubt. The Dolphins with the second down and 8 at the Browns 46 lead by only 3, 10-7. Here's the handoff to Morris. Sweep to the far side. Gets the corner turn, and he's out of bounds inside the 40 down at about the 38-yard line. That's going to be close to a Miami first down. A tackle on the play made by Tom Darden. And this young man has impressed me this afternoon. They put the ball down at the Cleveland 39, so it'll be about a yard shy of what they need for first down. Third down and a yard to go. Twilley is out, and Mandich comes in to get the Dolphins. Fleming and Mandich, the two tight ends. The ball at the Cleveland 39. We've just started the final period. Dolphins 10, Browns 7. We have not been able to put together, I say we, the Dolphins, a sustained drive for a touchdown this afternoon. The power blocking unit sets in tight from the 39, 3rd and 1. Here's a handoff, Morris, over the right side, and I don't think he made it. He is going to be stacked up, and he was really cracked. He did not make it, at least from here. Let's see where they unpile and put the ball down, and they're going to call a timeout, at least bring the chains in. Nick Roman, the left end, and Jerry Shirk, the right tackle. The fellows who really put the quietus on that one. And they're going to bring the chains in. From here, it doesn't, or are they? No gain. They're not going to bring the chains in. The referee had signified. Now the Dolphins are going to send in the field goal unit. Referee Norm Schachter had tapped himself on top of the head. But apparently did not want the chains, and after the on-file, they saw that they did not have nearly the yardage. So Yepremian, who was 1 for 3, will try a 46-yard field goal attempt. He has missed from 54 and 46, has a 40-yarder. Morrill holds, snap, set down. The kick is up. He's got the distance on it. It is gone. Hero Yepremian with a 46-yarder. And the Dolphins now move out to a 13-7 lead. And the little guy from Cyprus comes through, but 6 points is not going to be enough here, the way Phipps moved that ball club last time. But they had their hands on the football. That certainly helps out. 46 yards for Garrell, and gives him his second of the ball game. A 71-yard drive, 7 plays. Yepremian 46 yards on the field goal. So it's now 13-7 with 13:32 to go, and the Dolphins' no-name defense has to get the football back again. Billy LaFleur, number 19, and Ken Brown, number 30, are the deep men backs to receive the kickoff. LaFleur is a rookie from Henderson, Arkansas, and Brown, as we told you earlier, is a running back with no college background. He comes from Oklahoma City and has done an excellent job in backing up Kelly and Bo Scott in the offensive backfield for Cleveland this year. 13 minutes, 32 seconds separate the Dolphins from their
16th consecutive victory over the last 2 years. Their 15th in a row this year, but it has been hard and really hard to come by. This has been a game reminiscent to me, at least physically, of the last Jets game and, of course, the Minnesota Vikings earlier in the season up at Bloomington. Yeppermian gets the football, and we are about ready to go with the kickoff. LaFleur and Brown are the deep men. Here is Garrow's kick. He gets it high. There will be a run back from the goal line. LaFleur out to the 5, cuts the left side, 10 to the 15, tripped up at the 20-yard line. And a flag is thrown on the far side of the field. LaFleur returns 20 yards, and Lloyd Mumford really knocked his knees from beneath him.
And it looks like somebody clipped Bob Matheson over there on the far side, Rick.
And that's what it is. Joe Carollo, who used to play with the Los Angeles Rams, a reserve offensive tackle for the Browns, is the man who was guilty on the Browns specialty team, and the half-the-distance penalty sets the ball back to the Cleveland 10-yard line. Flipping against the Browns. So Mr. Phipps is 90 yards away, trailing by 6.
And this is where the defense really has an opportunity to put Cleveland in a hole, Rick. If they can hold them down here and force them to punt, Miami will be in real great shape going into this fourth quarter.
Kelly and Scott, the running back. Split far side. Is Hooker, near side, Pitt. First down, Browns from their 10-yard line. Dolphins lead 13-7. Waiting for the snap. Phipps another long count. Play fake, drops deep to throw. He sets up now. He's going to run with the ball. Gets out to the 15. Out to the 20. He's got the first down and is nailed at the 24. Picks up 14 yards on the carry. That was Cleveland quarterback Mike Phipps. Tackle made by Dick Anderson. He is an excellent runner. He scored the only touchdown in the game for the Browns. He had 5 on the regular season going into this ball game, and is just an excellent runner. So he picks up a first down, 14 yards on the carry out to the 24-yard line. And he has a little bit more room in which to operate. 12 minutes, 49 seconds left to go. The Dolphins lead 13-7. Have not been able to score a touchdown offensively against this Browns defense. Hooker splits far side, Pitts near side. Mike Phipps, the quarterback, up under center, waits for the snap. Long count, spins, hands to Scott, sweep to the right, cuts back to his left, out to the 30, still going, bounces off a tackler, and he's across the 35, out to the 37, 38-yard line. Great second effort by Scott, and bad tackling by the Dolphins. Bill Stanfield is the man who brought him down finally. That's good for another Cleveland first down at the Brownies' 38-yard line. Bo Scott has been the big runner for the Browns this afternoon. 12 minutes, 7 seconds to go. Dolphins lead by just 6, 13-7. All right, Hooker split far side, Pitts near side. Kelly and Scott the splitbacks behind Phipps. Phipps play fake, drops deep to throw. He sets up, fires the middle. It is overthrown, intended for Moran, and could have been picked off. Jake Scott had a chance at it, so did Dick Anderson. But Phipps has been putting the ball up a little high all afternoon. Whether or not it's a tendency or whether or not it's the rush he's getting is a matter of opinion. But Hines comes out and Bob Matheson goes in on the Dolphins' prevent defense. Second down and 10. The ball for Cleveland at their 38-yard line. 11 minutes, 53 seconds left to play. The lights are on here at the Orange Bowl. The Dolphins lead 13-7 in a battle for their lives against this fired-up Cleveland Browns football team. Hooker splits far side, Pitts near side. Scott and Kelly the splitbacks in behind Phipps. On second down, Phipps drops deep to throw. He sets up, being rushed, fires as he's hit. The pass is caught. It's complete, and knocked down at the Dolphin 44-yard line is Fair Hooker. And that's the first time they've gone to him. He made a great catch, and he was really cracked, but not before he gets the first down. And just as Mr. Phipps got rid of that ball, he was really decked by Stanfield. 18 yards on the pass completion, and Dick Anderson is the man who made the tackle. So Phipps on the first completion of the day to Hooker gets the first down at the Dolphins' 44-yard line. They come out of a huddle and set their backs in an eye. The receivers are deployed, split to each side. Here's the handoff. Scott into the middle and gets to about the 41. Bo Scott. Nick Bonicani, the middle linebacker for Miami, makes the tackle on the play. Gain of about 3. And it's actually going to be closer to 4 as they mark it at 40, so we'll call it second down and 6. 10 minutes, 55 seconds to go. The Dolphins lead by only 6, 13-7. Leroy Kelly, Bo Scott. Gloucester Richardson. Willie Richardson's brother is the wide receiver split to the far side. Frank Pitts to the near side. On the snap, Pitts on the option, keeps, runs to the right. He is inside the 40, knocked down at the 36-yard line. Bonicani again over to make the tackle for Miami. On the option that time, he just slid to his right, a la college football, and picks up a gain down to the 36. That'll bring up a third down and 3, and they're going to put in the 2 tight ends as Richardson goes out. And Pitts also goes out. Chip Glass joins Milt Moran in the power blocking unit. Fair Hooker stays in. The ball at the Dolphins 36. Third down and about 2.5 for a first down. They must get to the 34. Waiting for the snap. Phipps up the line of scrimmage up under center. Long count. Third down, 2.5 from the Dolphins 36-yard line. On the snap, he's going to sneak it. He runs straight ahead, and he squirts through for what appears from here to be the first down to keep the drive alive. Let's see where they're going to mark it, though. Just inside the 34-yard line. They still have not unpiled. First down for Cleveland. No measurement necessary. At the Dolphins' 33-yard line as Phipps snuck for it. 9 minutes, 42 seconds to go. The Dolphins lead 13-7, and Phipps has his ball club on a drive. Back in the huddle out of Browns. They break out of it. Fair Hooker splits to the far side. Pitts is also wide left, and he's a slot man left. Kelly and Scott, the I-backs, in behind Phipps from the Dolphins 33 on first down. Phipps sprints out to his right, steps to throw. He is caught and dragged down for a loss to the 38-yard line by Manny Fernandez. The Dolphins get through on him. Fernandez gets credit for the sack and a 5-yard loss. That's the second time the Dolphins have been able to get to Phipps this afternoon. And so Lloyd Mumford and Matheson come in on the prevent defense.
Rick, you have to wonder whether or not DeMarco has had Manny Fernandez's number here for the entire day. Manny hasn't really had a great day, but he really came forth that time.
Second down and 15. Browns ball at the Dolphins' 38-yard line. Hooker splits far side, Pitts near side. Kelly and Scott are the split backs this time, in behind Phipps. Second and 15 from the Miami 38. On the snap, Phipps drops straight back to throw. Sets up, he fires. It is intercepted at the 19, the 20, the 25, and Dick Anderson, who intercepted the ball, was hit, fumbled it, and the Browns recovered at the Dolphins' 29, and Fair Hooker comes up with it. Dick Anderson picked the pass off. It was intended for Milt Moran. He grabbed it at the 19-yard line. He rambled up the near sideline, and as he cut back to his right, he was hit, fumbled the ball, and Fair Hooker recovers for the Browns at the Dolphins' 30. How's that for a turnaround? Deflections of yesterday. All right, the Browns have the ball with a first down at the Miami 30-yard line. 8 minutes, 37 seconds to go. Kelly and Brown. Ken Brown now, the running backs. Well, Scott has gone out. Hooker splits left. Pitch to the near side. First down, Browns to the Dolphins 30-yard line. Phipps, long count at the line of scrimmage. Spins. Hands to Brown. Cuts outside to the near side, and he has run out of bounds at the 28-yard line, maybe the 27. By left cornerback Tim Foley. Anderson had the pass interception, his second of the afternoon, but as he cut back to his right, he was hit, fumbled the ball. It was stripped, actually, from him, and Fair Hooker of the Browns offensive unit fell on it, so they came out of that one smelling like the proverbial rose. The ball is marked at the Dolphins' 28, second down and 8. We'll call it for a first down. 8 minutes, 19 seconds left to play. Dolphins lead by only 6, 13-7. Hooker splits left, pitch to the near side. Brown and Kelly are the split backs behind Mike Phipps. Phipps drops back to throw. Has time. He fires deep. Hooker wide open. He's got a touchdown. Brown. And the Browns tie it up, 13-13. 28-yard pass as Phipps dropped straight back. Had good protection, had time, and Hooker just was wide open, slanting down toward the flag at the far corner of the field. And the Dolphins' win streak is now in jeopardy. Although we have 8:11 to go, it's tied up 13-13. Still plenty of time. All right, Nelson will hold, and Cockroft will try the point that could put the Browns out in front. With 8:11 to play, snap, set down, the kick is up, and it is good. Cleveland takes the lead with 8 minutes, 11 seconds to play. Dolphin football action will continue in 1 minute. The score, the Browns 14, the Dolphins 13. Rick Weaver back at the Orange Bowl, and 80,010 are stunned. A 30-yard drive, 2 plays. Fair Hooker caught his third touchdown pass, 28 yards, wide open. Mike Phipps threw his 14th. Mercury Morris, Schubert Ginn back deep as the Browns lead for the first time 14-13 with 8:11 to go. And the Dolphins, who have not been able to put together a sustained offensive drive against the Browns, have got to do it now. Here's the kick by Cockroft. Again, it's deep, way back in the end zone. There will be no run back. It's down, and the Dolphins will start from the 20. 80 yards away, moving from our right to our left toward the west end of the field, trailing 14-13. And the key now is, can Miami move the football and play ball control and get into that end zone for an offensive touchdown, which the Browns defense have prohibited them from doing this afternoon. The only score for Miami was a touchdown by Charlie Babb on a block punt and 2 field goals by Ephraimian. Morris and Zonka, the split backs, in behind Morrow. Warfield splits left, pulling to the far side. Morrow drops the throw. He fires. Warfield got it. Holds on the ball. as he's decked at the 35-yard line. Holy Toledo, what a catch. A tackle by Ben Davis, the right cornerback, and the free safety, Tom Darden. They mark it at the 34, 14-yard completion. They've got to get the ball to Warfield and open up this defense so they can run. They have not been able to do it, and they did that time. First down, Miami at their 34. Philly sets a couple of yards off the right side. Warfield split a couple of yards left. Morris and Zonka, the split backs behind. Morrill, hole in the middle. Mercury squirts through, gets to the 40-yard line. Mercury Morris, and believe me, the Browns defense is going after that football. You've got to hold on to it tight. The tackles by Johnson and Shirk, the two defensive tackles. The ball at the Miami 40-yard line. A gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4. Clock continues to move. 7:16 to go. That confusion near the end of the half when the Dolphins were not allowed the field goal at the end of the half also looms large, but they have their 3 timeouts remaining in this second half, as do the Browns. Second down and 4 from the 40-yard line. Here's the handoff to Morris. Sweep to the right behind. Little cut back to the left. Gets the corner turned up to the 45, and that is good for a first down. Tackled by Charlie Hall, the left side linebacker. And these linebackers, Lou, have done an excellent job on the blockers on the sweeps today. First down Miami, and keeping the Dolphins pretty well in check, I think.
Sure have, Rick. Really, that Hall and Andrews, playing those corner linebackers, they're out there right in the middle of it all. You just can't get around them. They're stopping them right there at the line.
All right, the ball at the Miami 45. First down Dolphins. Morris and Zonka remain the running backs. Warfield and Twilley the wide receivers. Mara Fleming the tight end. Earl Morrill the quarterback. Dolphins trail 14-13. We're in the last quarter. 6:23 left to play. Twilley splits far side. Warfield to the near side. Morrill drops back to throw. Sets up. He pumps. He fires deep. Warfield down there. He's got a 25 and falls out of the 21-yard line. Warfield is shaken up on the play. He caught the ball at the 25, and it appeared that he may have turned his ankle or turned a knee because his footing just left him, and he was down of his own accord at the 21-yard line. And it appears to be a rib or something. According to our spotter, Al Book, who has the glasses on him, and the trainer, Bob Lundy, and his associate, Stan Taylor, out there. Warfield comes up with the big pass reception of the ball game. Lou?
It probably, Rick, it looks like he came down on the football, hit him right there in the stomach, and I think he's got the wind knocked out of him.
Well, I hope that's all it is, and the Dolphins are right back knocking on the door now. With a first down, there is a timeout on the field, but we'll keep it here with 6 minutes and 5 seconds to go. As Earl Morrill pumped once, looked long, and found Warfield deep in behind that Cleveland defense, and they caught the ball at the 25, appeared to stumble and fell down, and was down at the 21.
And Rick, Earl really lofted that ball out there. I think if he had put a little more zip on it and let it out there a little bit in front of Paul, that he would have had a score on it.
Warfield is up. He appears to be okay. 34-yard pass reception from Morrill to Paul Warfield, and Paul is coming out under his own direction against his old teammates, and the Dolphins have a first down at the Browns' 21-yard line. 6 minutes, 5 seconds to go. Miami trails 13-14. Otto Stowe, the second-year receiver from Iowa State, at 6'2", 188, is in to replace him. And that is really the longest pass that Morrill has completed today. Henry?
It was the wind that got knocked out of Paul Warfield. He'll be back.
Okay, Stowe splits to the near side. First down from the Browns' 21. Morrill hands to Morris, starting to the left side, cuts back to his right, and he is cracked at the 17. He made his cutback. The sweep was to the near side, to his left, and he cut back to his right, and waiting for him right there was right side linebacker Billy Andrews and the weak safety Tom Darden. The cheer is for Warfield, who comes back in. Stowe is out, and Jim Kick comes into the running back field for the Dolphins. As Morris comes out, they mark the ball at the Cleveland 18, so it's a gain of only 3. It'll be second down and 7. 5 minutes, 17 seconds. A touchdown is mandatory here. Dolphins could take the lead back with a field goal, but that would still leave plenty of time. The Browns lead by 1, 14-13. Twilley splits far side. Warfield near side. Kick and Zonka in behind. Morrill. Morrill drops the throw. He sets up. He is firing down here. A flag as Warfield is knocked down in the end zone. The pass is incomplete, and he was dumped. He was dumped by Billy Andrews, the right side linebacker, and that occurred in the end zone. The flag was immediately thrown, and pass interference is going to be called on Cleveland. And since it occurred in the end zone, it'll give the Dolphins a first down. Now let's see where they're going to mark it. Or did it occur in the end zone? It occurred at the 8-yard line, and that's where they're going to mark it right there. If it had occurred in the end zone and Warfield was down in the end zone, it would have been a first and goal. But they mark it at the 8-yard line, and that's where it is placed down with a first and goal from the 8-yard line. Pass interference on the Browns. All right. Kick and Zonka are the running backs. Twilley splits far side. Warfield near side. First and goal. Miami from the Browns' 8-yard line. Morrill On the snap, hands off, kick through the middle. He's got a touchdown! The center of that offensive line, Kuchenberg, Langer, and Little just blocked people up into the nickel seats and kicked Ramble 8 yards right straight ahead for the TD. Yepremian will try the point from placement. Morrow will hold with 4:54 left. The Dolphins now lead 19-14. Waiting for the snap. Step down. The kick is up. And it is good. Dolphin football action will continue in 1 minute. The score, the Dolphins 20, the Browns 14. Yepremian's kickoff hits the crossbar, and that makes it a dead football. So the Browns will start from their 20-yard line. Garrow hit the upright with the kickoff, so that's a dead football. And the Browns are 80 yards away now with their clock very much the factor. Dolphins still lead by only 6 points, 20-14. That touchdown for kick is 6th for the year. Miami 20, the Browns 14. Kelly and Scott, the running backs, in behind Phipps. Phipps dropping back to throw. He sets up, swings one out. Little flare pass caught by Scott, and he's across the 25, gets out to about the 29-yard line before he's tackled by linebacker Mike Poland and also Nick Monicati, the middleman. Gain of some 9 yards. That'll bring up the 2nd down and 1. 4 minutes, 29 seconds left to play. The Dolphins on that drive, 80 yards, 6 plays. The big play was the 34-yard pass to Warfield, kick an 8-yard run. Ken Brown has come in replacing Scott.
Rick, and I'll tell you on that touchdown play where kick went across, that block that Kuchenberg threw is just beautifully picture perfect.
Hooker splits to the far side, pitch near side. Here is the draw play, and straight ahead, getting the first down out across the 30 to the 35 is Ken Brown. Nick Monicati and Mike Cullen make the tackle on the play. Good bit of play faking that time by the quarterback Mike Phipps, and Brown took the handoff and squirted through for the first down out to the Cleveland 35. Bob Hines comes out, and Bob Matheson comes in on the Dolphins 53 prevent and variation. 3:45 left to play. Dolphins fighting for their lives. Lead the Browns 20-14. Hooker splits far side, pitch near side. In the eye, Brown and Kelly. Here is Phipps. Hands off. Brown hits the right side, and he gets to the 38-yard line, juggling the football like a hot potato. And Bob Matheson is the man who threw the shoulder into him and knocked him flat. Might have gotten to the 39, and that's where they're going to put it, closer to the 39, so we'll give them 4, and it'll be 2nd down and 6. 3 minutes, 19 seconds left to play. The Browns moving from our left to our right, trail by 6, 20-14. Hooker splits far side, pitch near side. Brown and Kelly, the split backs behind Phipps. He's dropping the throw. He sets up. He has time. He fires. It is overthrown, incomplete to Kelly down the near side, and just as he popped that ball and put it up, he was getting underneath horrendous pressure. He might have fired the ball a little bit high. He's been throwing it high all afternoon. There's a fan out on the field down here at the east end.
Ricky had to get that ball around Bill Stanfield. Bill Stanfield's so tall that he had to loft the ball up over his head. He just couldn't complete it, couldn't see his receiver.
All right, 3rd down and 6. They're taking Milt Morin, the tight end, out. The ball is at the Cleveland 39. The clock is stopped on the incompletion with 3:04 to go. Hooker splits far side, and pitch comes to the near side. And they put in Chip Glass as the tight end. From the 39, Chip drops back to throw. He fires the middle. It is incomplete at the 50-yard line. Intended for Glass, who just went in, the tight end. Again, the ball was thrown a little bit off target. Dolphins had a fairly good rush. Doug Swift and Jake Scott covered on the play, so that brings up a 4th and 6, and they will have to punt. The Dolphins lead 20-14. Jake Scott goes back as the deep man, and Dick Anderson, the shallow man. Cockcroft, as the line of scrimmage, is the Cleveland 39, will stand back at the Browns' 24-yard line. This is a very important punt right here. And what happens following it? Waiting for the snap. Here it is. Does not get a rush. He angles it high down the near sideline. It's going to bounce at the 22, inside the 20, cuts for the near side, and rolls out of bounds at the Miami 16-yard line.
Rick Moldy Moore came in and started to rush the kicker, but I'll tell you, on a situation like this, don't you ever get caught roughing that kicker and give him that first down.
45-yard punt for Cockcroft, and the Dolphins now, with 2 minutes and 47 seconds, all their timeouts remaining, and a first down from their 16. Jim Kick and Larry Zonka will be the running backs. Morrill, the quarterback. Warfield and Twilley, the wide receivers. Miami with a 20-14 lead. If the Dolphins win, we'll be on the air from Pittsburgh next Sunday for the AFC Championship game on WIOD against the Steelers at 11:50. Twilley sets as a wingman off the right side. The backs are in an eye. Now they split off. Morrill, first down from the Dolphins' 16-yard line on the snap. Hands off, the kick, hits the left side and gets about a yard. That's all. Gets out to the 17. Waiting for him was right cornerback Ben Davis. Gain of a yard. They want to get that football back, and the Dolphins have to maintain ball control here with 2 minutes and 31 seconds left to play and leading by only 6.
It'll be a second down and 9. Miami's football at their 17. And over the weekend, the last 2 minutes of those games yesterday, I'm not even going to bring that up. That's ridiculous. Twilley splits to the far side, Warfield to the near side, Kick and Zonka to split-backs in behind Morrill. Dolphins second and 9 from the 17-yard line. Morrill, who has gone all the way, spins, hands to Zonk over the right side, and he gets to the 16. There is a flag on the play, and he lost a yard. Wayne Moore was the blocker in front of him.
Andrews looks like he's was shaken up on that play. Rick, he's out flat on his back.
Billy Andrews, the Browns right side linebacker. We'll see what the penalty is about. Zonka did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Henry?
I've called a holding penalty on the Dolphins.
And apparently it was on Wayne Moore, although we wait for the notification from you on that, Henry, if you can find out.
I wouldn't doubt it, Rick, because this Briggs really having himself a day against Wayne. He's really been giving Wayne a battle for the entire day.
Briggs is 6'4", 258, 5-year man from Heidelberg, who was cut by the Chargers. That's the penalty against the Dolphins. It's declined by the Browns. They'll take the down instead. Zonka did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Henry?
It was Wayne Moore they called the penalty on.
And Moore is 6'6", 265, a 3-year man from Lamar Tech. So Mercury Morris comes in and kick goes out. It'll be a third down coming up and 10 yards to go for the Dolphins from their 16-yard line. And the clock shows 2 minutes and 2 seconds left to play in this first half. We're coming right up to the 2-minute warning.
And Rick, let's say that I think right now we're going to see Merck run that end run. It is to the right or the left. This is the favorite play that you'll see with Earl.
All right, let's see what happens. 3rd and 10. Dolphins must get a first down here to keep their hands on the ball from their 16. Waiting for the snap from center is Earl Morrill. He hands off. Zonka, trap over the right side, out across the 20, digging and driving for yardage to the 25, out to the 26, and let's see if he got the first down. Big hole over the right side. And he may not have gotten it. He did not. They mark it at the 25, and he picks up 9 yards. So there is the 2-minute warning. Dolphin football action will continue in 1 minute. The score, the Dolphins 20, the Browns 14. Rick Weaver, Lou Quickburn, Henry Barrow back at the dramatic, packed Orange Bowl. The Dolphins are going to have to give up the football as Larry Zonka was a yard shy of his first down attempt. 1:56 seconds to go. Seifel will punt. The ball is at the 25-yard line, and he'll stand at the 10. Kelly and Darden are the deep men back for the Browns. A good kick here is absolutely essential. The snap, no rush. He gets the kick out of there. And it's grabbed by Kelly at the 40, 45, and is knocked down at the Browns' 49-yard line on the run. He took it and returns about 9 yards. That was not a particularly good kick, only of some 35 yards. The tackle made by Curtis Johnson and Jesse Powell. So time and field position now become a definite factor. The Browns need a touchdown. A field goal won't do them any good. Dolphins lead 20-14. Phipps, the quarterback. As Kelly splits to the far side, he drops straight back. Now he's going to run with the ball and gets inside the 50, down inside the 45 to the Dolphins' 44. Quarterback draws what it appeared to be, and Vern Denherter makes the tackle for the Dolphins. They're in their 2-minute offense, no huddle. Gain of 7, second down and 3. Hooker splits far side, Pitts near side. Kelly and Scott, the running back. The Dolphins 44. Pitts drops the throw. Here's the pass. Scott at the 37-yard line gets to the 35, and that is good enough for a first down. We got the clock has stopped with 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. Doug Swift and Dick Anderson made the tackle. The Browns call a timeout, use up one of their timeouts. The Dolphins have all of theirs left. It is a gain of 8 yards on the play. And that, of course, is good for a first down to the Dolphins' 35. 1 minute and 15 seconds on the board. The Dolphins lead 20-14. The Browns, according to our tabulations, have 2 timeouts remaining. The Dolphins have all 3 of theirs. And field position, they cannot use a field goal. The Dolphins lead by 6. A touchdown would, just be devastating.
Rick, we just brought in Lloyd Mumford on the defense. You've really got the prevent in there now.
All right, the ball is at the Dolphins' 35. That punt by Seifel was some 35 yards and was not a particularly good punt, but Kelly had an even better run back at 9 yards. So this drive started at the 49-yard line in Cleveland territory. Continues now with 1 minute 15 seconds to go. The Dolphins have had 4 pass interceptions this afternoon. Hooker, Kelly, and Pitts deployed as wide receivers. Here is Phipps dropping straight back to throw. He's got time, he's caught, and he breaks off one tackle and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Manny Fernandez would not give up on the play. He was hooked by Sam, Phil, and Denherter as they got around their blockers, but they slowed him up, and Fernandez got him at the 34.5-yard line. We'll call it a second down and 9 from the Dolphins' 34. Clock moving with 1:05 to go. Here is Phipps dropping back to throw, setting up. He fires the middle. It is intercepted by the Dolphins. 20, 25, 30,
25, touch for the near side, picks up another block. He is knocked down at the 39-yard line.
Rick, you can see Doug Swift on this play just wanting to stay in bounds and burn up some time, and he did a darn good job of it. Stayed in bounds and burned up a good 15 seconds.
That was the old ball game, or it could be, as Swift picked it off, his second interception of the ball game, the Dolphins' fifth. I believe it was intended for Morin, and got it back at the 20 and ran it back all over the field. Finally knocked down by Morin at the Dolphins' 39. So we have 42 seconds left to play. The clock is moving. The Dolphins are in no hurry. And the Dolphins lead 20-14. Kick and Zonka will be the running backs. First down, Miami at the 39. Dolphins hanging on with a 6-point lead. Trying to give their fans another Merry Christmas and meet the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next Sunday in Pittsburgh, you'll hear it on WIOD at 11:50. Morrow brings his ball club up with 19, 18. They'll keep it on the ground, and now the officials blow their whistles, and we're going to get a penalty against Miami, 5 yards for delay of the game, and that will stop the clock. The Dolphins don't care. Mandich comes in, sets the ball back at the 34-yard line. Clock is stopped with 15 seconds, so it'll be a first down and 15. 20-14. Yephremian's field goal kicking in key situations. Charlie Babb's block of the punt, the touchdown, and just a great performance by the specialty team and the defense has been the story of this ball game. Fleming and Mandich, the two tight ends, are in there now. 15 seconds. Dolphins ready to go to work. Morrow on the snap just falls on the ball right at the line of scrimmage. The Dolphins are not going to call any timeout. And there is one call by Cleveland to stop the clock with 11 seconds to go. That leaves the Browns with just one timeout. There was no gain on the play. It'll be a second down and 15. And stay tuned for our Miami fans to what should be a howling good locker room show, the Rolling Home Show, as this has been a bruiser, a brutal football game. These Browns came to play. The Dolphins unable to do too much offensively against them, except for the field goal kicking and moving into position for Garrow to kick, and of course the specialty teams and the defense. The fans are chanting, "We're number one, we're number one." But I want to give credit to this Cleveland team. They came to play, well coached, and they played. They played the Dolphins to a standstill. And believe me, if Tex Mullin, Sports Illustrated, thinks the Central Division is a weak division, I would suggest that he put on pads and go down there and try it himself, because we catch another one of these teams, the winner of the Central Division, the Pittsburgh Steelers, next week. All right, the Dolphins ready to go to work with 11 seconds to go. Morrill on the snap just falls down on it at the 33-yard line. A loss of a yard, the clock moving, 7 seconds. And again, the Browns call a timeout to stop the clock, use up their timeouts. That's their last one. And there are 7 seconds left to play in this football game. And our specialty teams awards performer for this ball game, who else? The sensational young man from Charleston, Missouri, who blocked the punt, ran it in for a touchdown in the first quarter for the Dolphins. Touchdown. Charlie Babb is our specialty teams winner for the second time this year.
And Charlie's got to be one happy rookie, Rick. This is just what a rookie dreams about here in a playoff game, to go ahead and block that kick and run it over for his score. It's satisfying enough to do it during the regular season, but imagine here in a playoff.
All right, here we go with the last play of the game. Dolphins with a third down and 15 from their 34, 7 seconds showing on the clock. Kick and Zonka remain the running backs. Morrow will just grab the ball and fall on it. The Browns are out of timeouts. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and the Dolphins are in the AFC Championship game with a hard-fought battle over a very good Cleveland Browns team. The final score, our Dolphins 20 and the Cleveland Browns 14. We'll be back with the final wrap-up after these announcements.
Well, what are your plans now, Don? Well, we're going to take tonight with the family. And when do you go up to Pittsburgh? Well, we haven't set a time yet. We're thinking about possibly Friday.
Well, Don, congratulations on a great win. Let's hope it just as successful in Pittsburgh and L.A.
Thank you.
Henry, I'll tell you, I think just about everybody has been in the shower already and headed towards home, towards a real happy holiday and a Merry Christmas. So you want it back?
I just want to say Merry Christmas, too, and wish that fella that does the play-by-play up there on the air a very Merry Christmas.
I'm with you all the way. Let's just say Merry Christmas to Rick, and a Merry Christmas to Al. And Al, you're up there. Watch for that fella in the sleigh.
Right over, Lou, and now you and Henry in the shower room, and everything will be all right. Strictly as a Dolphin fan and a radio listener, I'd like to congratulate Rick, Henry, and Lou for the great job they've done after these first 15 victories, and hoping that they have 2 more to do.